All right, hello, and welcome to another Friday Super Secrets of On-Page SEO. As I mentioned to my Zoom call, I am Josh Bashinsky. I've been doing SEO for 30 years-ish. Dexter asks, are you recording this as well? Yep, it's being broadcast to YouTube, and so it'll be on YouTube. You could definitely watch there when you're done. Go to youtube.com/jbashins, Jbachyns. That is my old username. I've had a YouTube account for quite some time. And he says, perfect, you rock. You rock too, my friend. I give you a sunglasses emoji. And you can find all the videos there. Make sure you like and subscribe. And for you folks who are watching on YouTube, welcome. You can ask questions in the live chat there as well. You should see a live chat on the right-hand side. Let me just make sure I'm broadcasting. I am, yay. So make sure you share it with your friends. Make sure you like and subscribe. If you have any questions at all, ask me anything. Ask me anything about SEO. And if I have time to cover it, I will definitely cover it. Today I'm focusing on Onpage. And so let's get right to it. Today I'm focusing on Onpage, and I'm going to be focusing on this piece of software that we use called SEO Copilot, which is an app for doing all of your on-page SEO, saving you. I mean, this thing has saved me so many thousands of dollars and so many hundreds of hours of time and so many thousands of dollars of having to hire writers and employees to do things. I can now do all the SEO myself. I fired 2 employees. No offense if they're listening. I love you guys, but to save money, I can do this all kind of myself now. And that's kind of the promise of AI is giving the power back into your hands to be able to do things that you weren't previously able to do, either because you didn't have the talent, you didn't have the aptitude or the patience for it, or just more likely you didn't have the time for it. So that's what we're going to be covering today. We're going to be automating SEO, saving 99% and ranking higher. And so let's get right to it. So this is what it looks like when you log in. Oh, it wants me to log in again. Haha, that's what it looks like when you haven't logged in. So give me 1 second here. I'll log in with my Google account. There we go. So this is what it looks like when you're logged in, and you see there's 3 bars at the top here: keyword discovery, keyword spy, and article builder. And those are the 3 main phases of on-page that you need to take, no matter whether you're using the software or not, or no matter how you're doing your on-page. These are the 3 steps of on-page. And keyword discovery, I include in the on-page process. A lot of people think this is kind of not on page. I think it's before on page. So that's fine. That's really just a philosophical point to argue. Really, that doesn't matter. But we include it in the on page process in my mastermind group called SEO University, where all the knowledge for this came from. SEO University is our think tank where we get all of our knowledge. I can show you the Discord for it here. This is it here. Just 5-second shameless bragging. Here are our recent wins. Here's Sebastian, who has just joined recently and has been getting rankings, very successful rankings. This is Ryan, who's doing a massive local course at the end of the month. If you're interested in local, you might want to join our mastermind group, because Ryan's course on the 27th, which is, I believe, in 13 days, just under 2 weeks, is quite good. These are just some of the recent wins that we've gotten. These go back for years and years and years. Anyway, I'm going to be using this some ideas from here. I'm going to be leaking a little bit of secrets from the group here. Not really that much. I'm going to keep it most secret, but I'm going to be leaking this part later. So we'll talk about, this is a major Google leak that happened. We'll be talking about that later. Anyway, so in Reggie, how you doing? In our SEO on-page process, we start with trying to find the low-hanging fruit, or the ranking, the searches you should be trying to rank for to begin with, the ones that are easiest to make you the most money and where your competitors are weak. Then we move on to what other people would do would be competitor research. But what we have the AI doing is it saves you hundreds of hours. Traditionally, you'd have to go and look at your competitors and see what they're doing and make wild guesses as to what is helping them rank, and copying all their mistakes, but some good stuff at the same time, probably. And then you have some lackluster SEO results. And we realized this in our group and we said, F that. And so what we did instead is we built an AI that can analyze tens of thousands of lines of code and hundreds more web pages than you would ever have the time manually to view. The AI analyzes them all, synthesizes all that data, and it automatically calculates the keywords you need, the boosting keywords you need to put on your page. And then our article builder after that, when you click generate article, it takes all that information, saving you hundreds of hours of time, and writes an article for you that is 9 times out of 10 the perfect article for that niche, that is talking about exactly the query intent that the users want to see, that Google wants to rank. And we do this all through AI. It saves you hundreds of hours and possibly thousands of dollars, depending on what niches you're in and how much it would charge. You would charge for writers. So that's what I'm going to show you how to do today. I'm going to show you how to take the bull by the horns and use this very easy tool to completely revolutionize your on-page. Again, saving you so much time and allowing you to make that much more money, allowing you to take on more customers, more clients, allowing you to build more pages, allowing you to do more SEO to get more success. Because it is, there's surgical tactics where you go in, you're very detailed. We could definitely do that with SEO Copilot. Or you could do what other people call spray and pray. We don't call it spray and pray because prayer has an element of faith in it. We know scientifically that our pages will index at about a 60 to 70% rate on average. And so it's not, there's no prayer. There's nothing faith-based with it. It is scientifically, it's a scientific understanding that, okay, if I build pages quickly with this tool, around 6 out of 7 out of 10 will stick, and I'll keep moving and fixing the pages as I go. And so you can do faster tactics where you're building up a site weight very quickly to compete in a niche. And quite often you'll have to do this. This is not like a black hat, white hat discussion. This is a what do your competitors look like discussion. And if your competitors all have huge sites with 1,000 pages, well, then you're going to have to start to approach the same site size that they have. So yeah, I'm also going to be giving away a lot of secret tips and free tips. That's the first one. So trust me, I've been doing SEO for, like I said, over 26, 27 years. And normally you'd have to go to a conference and pay $10,000 for some kind of crazy conference like SEO Rockstars or something to get this first fact. And some of you are going to be like, is this a fact or not? But I can guarantee that it is. So site weight is a fact. Content velocity is a fact that are ranking factors. We know this both, again, because of this leak here from Google, from our testing. We also know it because of this leak from Google that we have is also the API content warehouse. Is everyone familiar with this? Does everyone know that a few months ago, the entirety of Google's ranking factors leaked accidentally online on their GitHub repo for 2 days? And we have the PDF. Here it is. It's 7,414 pages long. It has all kinds of interesting ranking factors in it, like spam, for example. Look at all the spam algos they have. Spam Brain, Spam Cookbook, Spam Muppets, Spam IM, Spam Rank, etc., etc., etc. So there's one secret that the rest of the SEO industry seems to believe, in that there's no such thing as spam algorithms. Wrong. There's 239 mentions of spam in this document. There are so many: spam score 1, spam score 2, spam rank. Oh, look, here's PageRank NS, which stands for nearest seeds. Those are also ranking factors as well. Look at all the ranking factors here, actually. There's a lot of them. And that was just anchor tags. That's not even the major doc model that has most of the ranking factors. Anyway, the point of that is that all that wisdom and all that knowledge is built into this tool and built into SEO University, and you're going to be getting a lot of secrets today. One of which is that spam is real. Spam is really a ranking factor, and we're going to get to that in the article builder. My AI analyzes all that for you. If you're like, okay, now you're having panic attacks. You're like, oh, geez, Josh, okay, spam is a ranking factor? Oh, geez, I thought what everyone was saying was true, and it's not. Oh, no, how am I going to deal with this? Don't worry, my AI does it for you. My AI does it for you. You don't really have to worry about it. All you have to do is just kind of listen to my AI and try and do what it says. And we'll get to that with the article builder. And that AI is getting better all the time, by the way. Oh, my glasses are disgusting. I just took them off. I'll put them back on. No wonder I can't see what's going on. And the other secret is content weight, site weight, and content velocity are both ranking factors as well. And if you're, again, as I was saying, when you're doing your on-page planning, it's not a white hat versus black hat discussion. It's if your competitors have 500 to 1,000 pages, you're going to need a lot. You're going to have to start to approach that site weight as well. Well, how would you do that? How would you build up 1,000 pages and be competitive with your competitors? Again, you do that through the AI process, allowing you to make hundreds of pages a month easily, where you could only make dozens of pages a month previously by hand. So that's what we're going to be learning to do. It's going to be super exciting. It's going to be super awesome. I have tons more super secrets for you. If anyone's excited, give me a hell yeah, a hell's yeah in the chat, or a thumbs up, or some form of you're excited in the chat, and or say it here in the, Ryan's going to join, awesome. Dexter says, perfect, you rock, and hell yeah. Scott gives me a thumbs up. Thank you, sirs. I give you all a gold star. Hey there, Ryan. How you doing? Ryan is a senior member of SEO University, and again, he's the guy who's doing that local course I mentioned on the 27th. So you might want to join SEO University just to see what we're about, especially this month, because Ryan's doing that big course at the end of the month. Travis gives me a thumbs up as well.
I'm sharing secrets, guys. Book that date.
Come with questions too.
Come with questions. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, it's going to be super exciting. I'm looking forward to it. Okay, so let's get started then. So where would you start? So the on-page process, again, guys, I'm a dinosaur. I've been doing this a really, really long time. And back when I started, it was common practice. Everybody kind of knew. You always start your SEO project with looking for the ranking opportunities, right? You don't start the keyword process and just go, I'm going to just guess what I want to rank for and start choosing keywords, because by accident, you might choose like this keyword here, or this keyword, even worse, that is really hard to rank for. It's not recommended in the system, meaning I don't recommend a new site or a new SEO try to tackle this right off the bat. You need to work your way up to this. You need to build up trust with Google. You need to build up trust with yourself, with your SEO process. You need to build up your experience. And so I'm trying to save people from shooting themselves in the foot and being like, okay, well, this one looks like the one everyone would type in. It has the most traffic, so I guess I'll go for it. And the answer would be, I wouldn't start with this one, because again, it is 110% harder than the average SEO niche. It is twice as hard, at least, than the average SEO niche, probably harder than that. And so that's not where you should be starting. Instead, you should be starting on something like that's maybe easier. These kinds of queries, especially if you need to build up your site weight and build up your content velocity, so Google starts taking you seriously as an answerer to their questions, right? That's what everybody is, right? That's all you are to Google. Every website out there is just an answer for them, right? They have a bunch of people. They have this problem. They have infinite people hammering in like 80,000 queries per second of questions, and they want to know stuff. They want to find stuff out, and they need people to answer those questions. And that's all a website is to them. And you have to ask yourself the question, okay, I don't get to rank. You don't have the right to rank in Google's system. You have to earn it, right? And how would you earn that right to rank in Google's system? That highly coveted position where you're answering questions for Google. They're representing you. You are representing them, right? And it's a very close relationship with Google's. Think about it from their perspective for a second. And so think of it. How do I earn the right to rank in Google? How would I earn the trust to rank in Google and be one of the few who gets to answer questions for them? And the answer is by making great quality web pages. That's it. It's not a secret, really. I mean, it is. It's kind of a secret that's out in the open. And so here's another $10,000 secret for you that you'd learn in some big SEO conference or a secret private mastermind SEO group like ours, SEO University. Site quality matters, and page quality matters, and the quality of the answer you're giving matters. And thinking of it like you're answering a question or you're solving somebody's problem matters tremendously. It's not just a white hat like claptrap. It's not just a white hat kind of myth or rumor. It is a measurable scientific fact that these site quality, page quality, and the query intent you use, and the helpfulness of your page, these are facts. Google has updates to watch for them. They have artificial intelligences to assess your page along those lines. And that's why my AI is built the way that it is, to take advantage of those other ranking boosts that are on the table for you. There are points that could be added to your score from these artificial intelligences that other people are not taking advantage of, that you need to in order to rank in these queries. But in order to make sure that you are working in the right areas to begin with, and in order to make sure you're building on the right search queries to begin with, you need to do keyword research. You need to put in ideas in here. If somebody wants to give me an example of what you want me to put in, I can put it in here. You need to put ideas in here. You need to put base ideas in here. You're like, okay, I know I want to work in musical instruments somewhere, but I don't know where I want to work in it. You can just do that. Boom. Put in musical instruments. And then it's going to start giving you all kinds of keyword ideas. My AI takes one idea and can blow it up to as many as 20,000 ideas or 13,000 ideas, right? It can get you a lot of different ideas. And then you can drill down from there and decide, okay, what kind of content should I build this site on? How does this space look, right? There's good money in musical instruments, which I'm not surprised at all. Is there money in this niche? Am I building in the niches that are making the most money? Ted says, how much is SEO Copilot? It's very cheap. Because somebody asks, I'll do a very quick 5-second sales pitch for it. So if you check the pricing here, it's very cost effective. $24 a month is the lowest level. And I've got good news for you guys. This 5 pages a month currently is going to be blown away. You're going to be able to make nearly unlimited pages in SEO Copilot. It's just the length of time we're going to save your data for you is going to be reduced. So we haven't decided on what the final for this is going to be. It's going to be in the matter of weeks that we're going to keep this data here for you in the system.
Oh, cool.
So you can build. There will be a limit. Like, we can't make it unlimited because somebody is going to be, like putting a bot on this and building 1 million pages. So we're going to have to make some kind of limit, but it's going to be huge, right? So you're not going to be limited to 5 pages a month. You're going to be limited to, like, I don't know, a week or two of us saving the data for you. So you can build quickly, you can keep moving, you can build as much as you want and see as much success as you want. And if you're like, Josh, I need you to save the data longer, I'll be like, sure, well, I'll happily save the data longer for you, but that's going to cost you more per month because it's very expensive. The database for this app is super expensive. And so I do have to recoup those costs somehow.
Will there be a way to maybe export something so we can save and store things locally and then upload?
Yeah.
Or...
Yeah, no, there definitely is. So here you can export to CSV for your keywords that are on the page. So you would do this page, you'd export to CSV, you'd go to the next page and export it. And as you can see, it has all the data here with all the keywords. So you can do all that and save it. So I mean, the system will grow with you, right? When you're a new SEO, you need to move fast, right? I don't want to limit you in the number of pages you can make per month. You need to move fast. We're going to get rid of this. You need to build a lot of pages to be able to see success and trial and error, and to build up trust with Google, and to show them you can build quality pages quickly, and therefore you're a more reliable question answerer for Google. You're a more reliable resource that they should rank in their system to worthy of answering questions for their user base. So it's not expensive at all, Ted, as you can see. I mean, if these kinds of prices are prohibitive for you, SEO might be difficult for you because this is only on page. You're going to have to spend some money for off-page signals. Yeah, maybe in smaller niches, and if you do really good keyword research and find really good niches that make good money but also are super easy to rank for. Like, let me see here. Here's one, like maybe home services, maybe. I'm not entirely sure what these are. Like some of these could be easier to rank for, but can make a lot of money. If you do enough research here, I mean, the world is your oyster. If I want to open up the system to, and it's going to do a lot more difficulties as well for you off the bat, at least 150 off the bat. And that's fine because, again, we're going to really increase the credits. So you don't really have to worry about credits. What you have to worry about is doing your research and moving quickly and getting results, because that's what you need to do in SEO anyway. Like I didn't make that a requirement. Google made that a requirement. Your competitors already having giant sites compared to you makes that more of a requirement. So you're going to be able to move fast and build quickly, and you're going to be able to find niches that make a good amount of money, but also have a lot of easier keywords at the top. And there's going to be chances for you to build on these keywords and have a successful career. That's what we want you to do. That's my secret. Are you guys ready to learn my dastardly secret of how Josh makes money online? Are you ready? I'm going to tell you 100% my secret right now. Are you ready? I want you to succeed. Bum, bum, bum. There you go. Oh no, the secret's out. My secret is out. I want you to have a career in SEO. I want you to succeed. I want you to be successful like I am. I want you to be successful like Ryan is. I want you to be successful like all my students in SEO University are. I want you to have a career in SEO. I want you to be able to make money off of it, either working from home or for yourself. And we do all kinds of SEO, by the way. And this course today is for all kinds of SEO. And I've done all kinds of SEO. I've done everything from local to global. I've done everything from porn to prayers. I've done everything from the sleaziest adult sites to churches and not-for-profit organizations. I've done multiple languages. I've been an in-house SEO. I've been a consultant. I've run agencies. I've done rank and rent. I've done digital real estate. I've done affiliate SEO. I've done it all. And I want to help you making money in all those different ways you can make money. And then when you make money with SEO Copilot, you find it's a good system to use. And when you make money joining SEO University, you realize it's the best think tank or SEO group or SEO community to join because we have the most knowledge and we are the most helpful. And we've been doing it the longest for 10, 12 years now. You're going to realize that there's value staying in those things. And that's how I make my money. Other than the client side service and the SEO I do on the side as well. Although running these two companies is more than a full-time job, I can assure you. I don't have a lot of time for client SEO on the side, but I do. I have multiple clients. And I'm only really able to service them, again, because of the tool, because of SEO Copilot. Ted says, in service businesses, there could be a lot of repetition of keywords as you add more pages. Will that harm a site in terms of SEO? No, it won't. Not that we've found. There is some work for you to do. The AI does about 90% of the work for you, 90% of the time. There is some work that you need to do for yourself. I would highly recommend joining SEO University to get the full scoop if you're going to be working in more tough niches, especially. But no, you could just go down the list, and that's what I'm going to be teaching later on, is you just go down the list and you just start building keywords. And it doesn't matter if Google starts ranking this page for this page, because they mean the same thing secretly, and you don't know this because you're an SEO or something like that. It doesn't really matter what you do. It depends on, it really depends on your approach. Getting back to the carpet bombing approach, which is what we call it, the targeted carpet bombing, which I'm using the reference from, I don't know if you guys have seen on Apple Plus, the show Masters of Air. It's a show about World War II, and it shows the Canadian and American bombers when they were stationed in the UK, and they were doing targeted carpet bombing on the Nazis. And it goes through how they do their carpet bombing during the day, which is targeted and much more precise, but sadly much more lethal for them because the Germans could see them and shoot them down easier, as compared to, say, how the Brits did the bombing in World War II, where they would only fly bombing missions at night. So it was safer for them, harder for them, the Nazis, to hit them, but they could be miles off their target, and so it wasn't as targeted as, say, the Allied forces of America and Canada were during that time. And that's what we call it, carpet bombing, because we're dropping a lot of bombs and we're trying to hit a target, but we hit our target much more often than not. As I mentioned, We've done the statistical data correlative analysis. I've done the scientific research in a scientifically valid study, and our pages boost on average boost our customers in SEO Copilot by 7 spots on average. There's on average a 7-spot boost for our customers using the app right, and there is an average, as I said, 60 to 70% indexation rate, which means you're ranking somewhere. Page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4, page 5, page 8, page 9. It means you're ranking somewhere in the SERPs. And then you just need to do more on page from there, build up the site bigger, better. You need to do all of your on-site stuff like internal links. You need to do about 12 other things that you'd learn in SEO University, what you'd be doing there. And avoid about 20 other problems. And then you need to do your off-page stuff as well, which again, you would completely learn in SEO University. If you're interested in SEO University, wait to the end of the broadcast. I've got a big gift for you. Ted asks another question. Great question, Ted. Good questions, by the way, my friend. I give you a gold star for your questions. He says, will multiple websites for the same business boost traffic? Yeah. I mean, theoretically, I mean, that's always been like phase 2 of SEO. Like when you're very, very successful and you've already got, say, one site here in the SERPs, you always want another one somewhere in here, because that means you've got instead of one billboard on the highway, instead of one billboard on the freeway, with people's eyes seeing you and who you are and what your name is, and you're getting impressions from this. You may even get clicks from this, and they come through and click your site. As opposed to just one, a chance for that, you have 2. So definitely, you have risk mitigation in that strategy as well. If one site gets hit, it's like, okay, I already have this other site here as well. There's a way to do it right. There's a way to do that correctly and a way to do that incorrectly. So again, email me at joshpaczynski@gmail.com. I'd be happy to help guide you in how to do that. Okay, so this phase here of keyword discovery is very easy. You just put in the keywords you want to rank for. Let me check to see here on the TubeViews if there's any questions. Got 6 people watching here, looks like. If you guys have any questions, by all means, put them in the chat there. What you do is you want to put in your keyword ideas. Now, you might be like, okay, Josh, what if I just want to make money with SEO? Most of the time, people come to me and they're like, Josh, I want to write on personal training because I'm a personal trainer. Or Josh, I want to write on musical instruments or make an affiliate play on musical instruments because I'm a musician and I know a lot about musical instruments. And that's fine. Leveraging that knowledge and that passion and the social media you've already built up for it and your brand you've already built up for it, theoretically should be beneficial. So there's another major secret for you. However, if you're just like, Josh, you know, I can't find an affiliate niche of stuff that I'm into, or I don't even know what I want to do. I don't know if I want to do rank and rent. I don't know if I want to do affiliate. I don't know if I want to sell rank websites up highly and then sell them for money. Like be a digital flipper basically. And those are all valid ways of making money that are not mutually exclusive, by the way. They're mix and match. Or I want to take on clients, I just want to learn SEO, and it's not really. It doesn't really have to do about the subject matter. It has to do with what is the best pound for pound. What is the best niches that have the most money that are the easiest? So that's how you would use this top level screen here and the results, the overall results screen. You would sort it by what has the most money and what is easier to rank for, and you'd go for that. And you put in general things like bookkeeping services, crypto, home services. You might do something even more general. If you're trying to do rank and rent, you might put in San Jose areas or neighborhoods, New York areas or neighborhoods, those kinds of things. You might put in a website and be like, I want to be like these guys. I think I know these guys make a lot of money. I know that the conversion rates are really good. You could put in a website here. Just go, let's start with the existing website instead. You can do it that way. And you can also tailor it per location. So that's how you'd work this. And if it's like, Josh, if any niche is the same as any other niche, then my answer is fine. Then go where the money is. Go where there's something new and there's tons of money behind it, and you can still make good money even on the easier queries, some of these, and start building pages and make money off this stuff, right? You don't have to scroll down far before you start seeing pages that have a huge revenue potential, and the keyword ROI, the keyword revenue ballpark that you can get here is quite high. So that's how you would think about it. And then so you're just going to go through this list and start marking off pages and building pages. And so let me get in more into that process. So let's say now you've decided on the niche. You're like, okay, Josh, I'm going to be in crypto. Whatever the reason, you like crypto, you're into crypto, you already have an established presence in crypto, and or you're just trying to find the niche that makes the most money, and this is the one that you settled on. Fine. Let's say that's where you're at. Okay. Then what do you do? All right. So now what you do, basically, generally speaking, here's another major tip that is, again, from just under 30 years of doing SEO. This is probably the most important thing I'm going to say to you all day. If you forget anything else, which I wouldn't, there's going to be other great stuff, but if you're going to forget anything else, remember this. It's not the person, I'm going to ask you a controversial question. It's not the person who ranks here or ranks number 1 who wins at SEO. That's not the person who wins at SEO. I know that might sound controversial, but it's true. It's the person who ranks number 1 faster, cheaper, in an easier way that is replicable, that you can repeat, that does not incur risk over time. I repeat, it's not the person who ranks number 1 and takes 12 months to do it and spends $6,000 a month to get a lackluster query that they didn't research ahead of time, like this one, and is only going to make you like $1,000 a month. It'll take you 2 years to recap your costs of what it cost to get there, because sadly you didn't do enough keyword research and didn't realize that this was super, super hard to rank for, and therefore that means it's super, super expensive to rank for and super, super risky to rank for. That's what that means, right? That's also why it's not recommended, right? The harder the SEO niche, the more it costs to rank for it, and the more risky it is to try. The longer it will take for Google to trust you to even try you for that query. And you better have chosen a keyword that's going to make the most money, because then you're going to need to recoup all those costs. That's just business efficiency 101. And an SEO business, whether you're working for someone else or for yourself, is absolutely no different. Absolutely no different. So this is a hard-learned lesson that I've learned, and I've been this guy. I've been like, the client says, I want to rank for Bybit market, for example, a query that was super hard to rank for and didn't make him a lot of money to begin with. He just picked it out of his butt because he's a CEO or a client, right? And we call them in the industry vanity keywords. Your client will often have vanity keywords that they like to search, that they think everyone is searching, which might have been true 20 years ago, but may not be true now, because searching patterns change. That's another reason why you need to do keyword discovery. Searching patterns change every year, and the difficulty of keywords changes every year. When Google adds sites, removes sites, new competitors come in, new competitors leave, sites go up and down in the money they make. Queries go up and down in the money they make every year too. You need to do a keyword discovery phase at the beginning of every single on-page project, because all of those things are in flux. And so you might accidentally, by accident, decide to build on a keyword that is no good. A keyword that sadly is going to take you 12 months to rank for. You're going to have to spend $1,000 a month or $2,000 a month on quote unquote signals. Those signals may not be the best signals to do anyway, if you're not in the right group that has the best scientific training to tell you how to save all of your money and only spend your money on the exact things you need in the exact way you need them. And that is how people fail, right? That's how SEO projects fail. The single biggest, as I said, guys, this is the most important thing I'm going to tell you today. The single biggest reason why SEO projects fail and SEOs fail and have to go and get a job somewhere else is because they failed to understand business process efficiency. And they took too long and cost too much money to try to rank for too hard and too small a query, too poor a query. And they do that statistically across the board on the 10 or 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 pages they try to build. If they even are that aggressive, which you'll need to be, right? Because there's another major secret I'm going to drop for you in a second. Well, and I've already alluded to it. Bigger sites rank better. There's the other major secret. And it's not so much a secret. People have been kind of realizing this for a while, but I can confirm that it's a fact. Site weight matters, content velocity matters. Those are both separate ranking factors and ones that work in your favor, by the way, not that don't penalize you. You don't get penalized because you have a big site, and you don't get penalized because you've added content quickly. You get demoted because you have a crappy site with crappy content that maybe you added crappy content too quickly. That's why you get demoted. So site velocity is a ranking factor, and it has to be good quality content. All the content you make has to be good quality content, and you have to make it cheaper, faster, more efficiently, more factual, more helpful, more repeatable on every single attempt of every single page you put on there. And it has to be cheaper to get there. And it has to be done in a way that is going to be less risky than all of your competitors, than everybody else here who has tried to rank for this query. Now, this might be a bad example because it looks like this is a brand name, but that's not the point. I mean, you shouldn't be trying to rank for someone's brand name either. That this is the system protecting you trying to rank from a keyword that there's a thing called Bybit. You should not be trying to rank for this. Or if you do, you only have like this one spot, or you have two spots on this SERP where you can disrupt Bybit and maybe steal away some of your traffic. Oh, 3 spots actually, 1, 2, and 3. Will anyone click you? I don't know. But that's a different kind of approach, right? But anyway, so what you need to do is again, don't forget this. This is probably the single most important truth in SEO. You need to be more efficient than everybody else. It's not about being number one. It's about being number one faster, easier, better, cheaper, in a repeatable way that you can rinse, repeat faster than everybody else at scale, and in a way that is less risky, building less risky, building less spammy, less crappy pages. That is to say, more helpful pages, more useful pages, the kind of answer that Google would want to try and give to their users and would be proud to rank number one. Google would have to be proud to rank you number one in order to rank you number one. That's another major secret that people don't realize. Here's another major secret that is not just white hat bullshit, but it is actually true because of the artificial intelligence age that we're in. Google uses AI to analyze pages. They've fired most of their human quality raters. They've fired tens of thousands of them now. And they have an AI, it's called the Helpful Content Update. They have an AI and the review page update as well, which is a lesser known one, which also includes service pages as well. Reviews on services and reviews on products. They have a separate AI which analyzes the quality and helpfulness of those pages and assigns you a score. They assign you a composite score, actually, which is this score here, which I'll be talking about in a couple seconds. And they have to be proud of you. The secret is this, that people don't realize. They think you can just kind of have like a spammy Google page, that you could just have like this kind of crappy Google page, this crappy SEO page that, says, if you were looking for red apples, we have the best red apples online. Make sure to check out our red apples at redapples.com. And then red apples was the thing you're trying to rank for. Google would not be proud to rank a page like that. And they are looking at every single page. They're like Santa Claus. They're making a list and they're checking it twice. And they're going to know if you're naughty or nice. They're going to know if each page is one that they'd be proud to rank number one. And you have to make sure your page is proud to rank number one. Now, if you're like, oh, Jesus, Josh, how do I do that? Like that sounds so scary. How do I do that? Don't worry. My AI will do this all for you. My AI will do 90% of the work for you. You just need to it'll bake the cake and it'll put it on the stand. All you need to, and it'll put the icing on it. All you need to do is smooth out the icing and make sure that it looks good, is all you're going to need to do. Okay. So does anybody have any questions about that? Any questions at all? You would just go through here, you'd put in your keywords. Now, there's two different approaches you would take, which I'm going to move on to, which I've already alluded to, the surgical versus the carpet bombing. But does anyone have any questions here? If you have any questions, put them in the chat. If you're still pumped, give me a pumped in the chat. If you guys have any questions on the YouTube, let me know. Okay, so the two different approaches you have here are surgical, going surgical, we call it in the group, and doing the carpet bombing. What are the differences? Let me write them down here for you. So surgical SEO is slower, careful. With AI, it takes about an hour per page. With non-AI, by hand, it can take 10 hours per page, at least 10 plus. And this is where you're doing the full meal deal, so to speak. This is you trying to do all the SEO tactics to get the most helpful, the most quality page, giving Google's AIs everything that they need to see on that page, all the artifacts, all the different kind of markup language, all the different kind of content, and everything else that they need to see how to make it, to squeeze all the ranking boosts out of it. And this is useful for harder queries. For harder, this is the method, this is the MO for harder / lucrative queries. That's the method you need to take, right? So if I come in here into musical instruments and I'm like, ooh, look, ooh, okay. If I come here and I sort of by final return on investment, because what final return on investment is, it takes the ones that have the most money, that are the easiest, and gives them the highest score. So see, the score is really, really high here. The actual number doesn't matter. It's the comparison between these ones is what matters. And this takes the highest amount of money, and which is the easiest thing to rank for, and it gives you a final return on investment. All things being equal, if you have a powerful site, then build a final ROI, is what you're going to be doing. Now, if you're like, Josh, how do I know if I have a powerful site? If you know you have a powerful site, then how do you know this? Well, let me ask you this. How long does it take for your pages to index, right? If you try to index a page, does it take a week to rank somewhere in Google, or does it take 24 hours? A powerful site or a trusted site, trusted sites rank a page somewhere in 24 hours on fetch. So that means, here's another a big industry secret that you wouldn't learn unless you went to some high-level technical SEO conference. How do you know your site is trusted in Google? It doesn't matter if it's new or old, really, not directly, and it doesn't matter if you think you have a high DA or not. None of that matters. A trusted site in Google is one that, when you try to rank a page and you fetch it, it ranks somewhere on page anywhere from 10 to 1 within 24 hours, even faster. If it takes longer than 24 hours to see your page anywhere in Google, your site is not trusted enough compared to your competitors. And I can tell you the exact mechanism in Google that's doing this, by the way. It's this one here. It's click age probability. Click age, the what people think the sandbox is, and one of the biggest on-page ranking factor, quite frankly, is the variance between two scores that Google gives your page and your site. Click age probability is a per page score, and site quality is a site score, obviously, because it's called site quality. This is what Panda used to be called. This used to be Panda, now they call it site quality. And click age probability is probably, we suspect, rank brain. There are three major ranking factors in Google. There's rank brain, there's spam brain, and there's snippet brain. That's the holy trinity of rankings in Google. There's rank brain, there's spam brain, and there's snippet brain. Rank brain boosts and indexes and crawls pages more and faster. Spam brain does the opposite. Spam brain filters every page looking for spam statistical factors. Like every spam page is a default install of WordPress that has tags and categories. Every spam page, the trillions of spam pages they filter out, mathematically speaking, the vast majority of them have these kinds of factors and those kinds of factors. And what spam brain does is it deranks your pages more, it indexes them less, and it crawls them less. And that's the first sort. There's a two-sort system for Google. Sort one, you get back from Google, is rank brain and spam brain, as far as we know. Sort two is snippet brain that changes all the snippets, right? It changes all of the words you're going to get in the snippets. You're going to get both the knowledge snippets you can get here, the AI overview, the featured snippet. The AI overview basically just replaced the featured snippet. The different titles and meta descriptions that it will show here are not at all always title and meta description. These are the snippets that Snippet Brain thinks are the most useful and therefore what they should be using. Also notice, because it's a difference between rank brain, spam brain, and snippet brain is the AI that's choosing these bolded words, by the way. And so that does not mean at all that rank brain thinks they're useful for rankings. It only means that snippet brain thinks they're useful for human beings to see them. That's another major mistake out there, another secret that I'm dropping. A lot of the tools out there and a lot of the SEOs out there say, it's easy to find what your SEO keywords are. They lie. Just use the bold words. Those are your SEO keywords. Wrong. They've forgotten to understand, they've failed to understand the publicly accessible information from Google, that there's a two-sort system, and it has rank brain and spam brain and snippet brain. Snippet brain is a different AI working on different rules with different purposes and different entities than rank brain does. So rank brain may not at all think that these bolded words are important for ranking, and therefore it is not true that you should just copy the bold words here, stuff them into your title tag, and call your SEO done. I'm here to tell you that's not going to work, or anything even close to that strategy is not going to work. Okay, Ted says, is spam keyword stuffing? Spam is one kind of keyword stuffing, one kind of them, not the only kind for sure, not the only kind. Actually, in fact, there's different keyword stuffing. There's different keyword stuffing algorithms actually. Let's see, stuffing. Can't overall. What do they call it? There's one in here. Per doc data. I think it's in the per doc data. I think. There's the blog per doc data. They have special ranking factors just for blogs. There's the image per doc data. Where is it? Ocean. Here's the model per doc data. This is where most of the ranking factors are. Here's another spam score. Premium data, whether you're quality or not. Another scaled spam score. It's in here somewhere. Spam brain data, more spam scores. They have so many spam scores, so many. They used to have a whitelist, which is now deprecated. We've gone through all this. Document level spam score, URL poisoning data for suppressed spam documents. Do you have too many keywords in your URL? Where is it? I know there's a keyword stuffing in here somewhere. I can't find it. Scaled spam score. Now it's pissing me off. Now I must find it. Must find it. Spam cookbook. Oh, here it is. Keyword stuffing score. Yes, there are keyword stuffing scores, but they are different than the spam scores, as you can see. So any SEO who just thinks that, oh yeah, spam is just keyword stuffing, wrong. Two different factors. You can see them here in the ranking factors that were leaked. There's no reason to believe that there's patents on all this stuff too. There's no reason to believe Google's not using it, and we have scientific proof to the contrary. So again, this is publicly accessible. I'm not entirely sure why the rest of the SEO world doesn't catch up, but perhaps they don't take the science as seriously as we do. Anyway, so click age probability is a score you get per page from RankBrain on various factors we've seen there that break into and are under the umbrella of RankBrain. And site quality is a site quality score. If your click age probability is high enough, that means if your page is helpful enough, it is quality enough, it is trustworthy enough, you're talking about the EAT, right? The experience, the expertise, the authority and trust. This is a measurable, scientifically proven fact, right? That we've tested in the group, that you're saying the right words that have to do with the right concepts that are the way that will be maximally helpful for the user, which there's really no way to guess unless you are an expert in this niche or you're using our AI or you're part of our group and we found out how to reverse engineer it and use it to make sure we're making the highest quality pages, which is perfectly white hat. It's perfectly white hat to make the highest quality pages, and that's what we're doing. And that's what Google wants us to do, and that's why Google ranks us like crazy. And all of those scores are part of your click age probability. What does click age probability mean? It has another thing to do with this other leaked way that Google refers to this. A short click, somewhere in here, there it is. It's the short click versus the long click. So that's how they talk about traffic that they track, by the way. They track all. Here's another major secret as well that you wouldn't learn unless you joined one of these super crazy black hat conferences. Is that, oh, by the way, traffic is a ranking factor. Duh. I mean, a lot of people have kind of started coming around to this. That it's pretty obvious, but we've known this for 12 years. Right? We've known this before everybody else did. It's not CTR that's a ranking factor necessarily. It's not the click-through rate. It's the traffic and what they do on your page. Are they a short click or a long click? Right? Do they stay there a short amount of time and bounce back? That's what short click means. Or are they a long click? And do they stay there for a long time and go to multiple different pages? I know a long click is in here somewhere. I thought it was in here somewhere.
I think it's long period click.
Long period click, maybe.
No, I lied. What if you search long?
It is in here somewhere. That's where I got it from. Yeah, the problem is the word long is going to be here a million times. That's the problem.
Holy crap.
Yeah, it's going to be here a lot.
Neat thing about that traffic stuff I want to talk about. So I was jumping to some interesting local seminars recently, and there was a cool item where there was a company, they had 3 services. 2 of the 3 services ranked well in maps, well on page, but the 3rd service did not, even though each of them had equal on page, equal backlinks, like equal everything. What they ended up finding is that the traffic on the site was only going to the 2 pages that they're going on, and that's where the engagement happened. So even if you have everything in the sun and users aren't engaging or going to the pages on your site, Google takes that as, hey, you're not actively advertising this and sending people there, so we're not going to rank it. And the simple solution they did to help is they pasted QR codes around their local area so people would just scan it and go and check out the page. And the local IPs to their area showed Google that people are looking at it and their map ranking started to go back up.
Yep. Yeah, that's okay. Wow, that's a major secret. So you heard it here first, guys. And that's again one way of handling it. Traffic is a ranking factor, and it's in fact the most powerful off-page ranking factor, far more powerful than links. We know various ways of making sure your pages are magnet to clicks is very, very important. And so we know various ways of boosting this, of tracking this. And so that's what, taking advantage of it. And it's both for map rankings and for global rankings. Ted asks, is it a mistake to concentrate on mainly the homepage for traffic? Yes. How much weight do you place on the homepage for X plumbers, for X carpenters? That's how much weight do you place on the homepage for plumbers and carpenters? That doesn't really, it's not really the way we think about it, Ted. I'd have to go off for 3 hours kind of teaching another kind of thing. I don't really have the time, but that's not really, all I can say is that's not really how we think about it, Ted, is the homepage matters, but it's basically the top of the umbrella for your topical cluster, really is the huge hint, the huge secret I will give you. Yes, topical clusters matter, but only one of them. Only one topical cluster per site. If you're doing more, you're doing it wrong, and you're cutting off your nose to spite your face. You're reducing your ranking signals. So again, to learn how to do topical clusters, that's way beyond the focus of this particular 3 hours. This is Onpage at the highest level, not getting into specific little details. By all means, email me, I can get you into SEO University, and we can teach you how to do that. It's very important for rankings to make sure that your internal linkings, or your navigational structure, your directory structure, your navigational hierarchy, your navigational design, your topical cluster, and your umbrella page for this and the sub pages for it are done a certain way. But so that would best answer your question. But I'd have to. I have a few hours of courses that you need to look at for that. Okay, so that's why they call it click age, and they're guessing a probability for this particular page you're building. In here in SEO Copilot, we're building pages that are supposed to have the final ROI, right? We're building pages that are going to make us the most money, so we get more money sooner, faster, better, that are easier, so we get more money sooner, faster, better. Because what do you need to do in SEO? You don't need to rank number one. You need to make more money sooner, faster, better than everybody else. And that's how you survive over years as an SEO. And that's how your competitors fail, because it's a race in this Mad Max warrior world. And you need the more efficient engine. The V8 that shoots out fire out the sides, it's fancy, but you need the Smart for 2 car, which is the most maximally gas efficient, and will get you there faster, sooner, better, and more cheaply and efficiently and reliably than the huge V12, or whatever that's guzzling the gas. That's how this works. Especially since the fact that your competitors, some of them, have been already in this race. They've been running this Boston Marathon for years ahead of you. You need to catch up with no boat anchors tied around your ankle, so you can pass them, because they still have a whole bunch of boat anchors tied on their ankle, because they're not using SEO, they're not using AI, and they haven't learned all the best SEO. So they're not ranking sooner, faster, easier, better. They're ranking later, more expensively, in a risk-filled way that Google is going to statistically reduce them so that you can catch up to them. And that's the good news. That's a good thing. It's the good news. You're here now. You're in the information stream of the people who could tell you how to do this the most effective, efficient way. You're outside of the rumor mill of SEO, and now you're into the science. You're into the people who test it as stringently as humanly possible, with both massive data correlative analyses to build software that makes it easier, faster for you to do, and in a mastermind group that does not publicize any of their information because it's far, far too valuable and is scientifically tested, everything that we say and we do. Okay, so the name of the game here is to build faster, easier, cheaper, better. All things being equal, if you have a powerful site, because a page indexes within 24 hours, you could probably just sort by final ROI, start building from the top here, as long as they're not recommended, as long as it doesn't look like this. If it looks like this, you still might want to build up something and you have no content on this. You need to build up in a way that's very easy, right? You need to build up your trust. You need to earn trust with Google before they'll rank you for anything. Remember this, you need to earn trust with Google before they will rank you for anything. How do you earn trust with Google? You build pages, right? You build up pages that they're proud to rank number one to answer the questions for their highly valued to them user base. Google's user base means everything to them, everything. And so they have to be proud to give you as an answer because you look like you really know what you're talking about and you're really talking about it in an expert way that's really going to be helpful for people. Plus about 10 other factors that have nothing to do with that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good thing to bring up because you got to understand, like when you think about Google and AIs, they're going to look at a company and have to figure out if they're real, if it's fake. They want to make sure like it's genuine. And so what are those basic things that someone does when they start a business nowadays? Like in 2025, if you have a business, you should have a Facebook page, Instagram, YouTube. There should probably be a press release. There should be someone somewhere who has talked about your business. Whenever I talk to companies who aren't SEOs and I'm telling them that we have to get to the point where we have trust, trust comes when Google feels that you're an actual business, that you do that. So what are those minimum requirements? This is almost like the standard things that anyone needs to do to start a business now online. And Google's using that to make sure that you're a real company.
Definitely. That's for sure. Yeah, like why would they choose? It's not 2005 anymore. Why would they choose Josh's House of blog to answer some question that has nothing to do with Josh House or blog? Like why would they, like why are they going to rely on some kind of fly-by-night site to answer questions when they have professional businesses? They can clearly tell are professional businesses based on their various on-site and off-site signals that increases the trust value, right? And that trust value starts with the quality of your content. Because all things being equal, if they don't have an established business to answer the question, well, then they're going to go with the highest quality answer. And the highest quality answer, even for an established business, is going to beat them out quite often too. And so you need to be giving high quality answers, right? And so I'll answer your question, Ted. Here, I put it here. So all things being equal, you need to build faster, cheaper. You need to build faster, cheaper, better than everybody else. And the way to do that in the system is to sort by final return on investment. If all things are equal and you have a powerful site that indexes any page in 24 hours, you could probably just sort by final return on investment and start building here. If you don't, you're like, okay, Josh, that's great. What if it takes longer to 24 hours to fetch? If it takes longer, if longer than 24, sort by 24, or if you are going carpet bombing to build site weight, then you need to sort by easiest and build from there. So you go to keyword difficulty, you sort by easiest, and you start building, right? Up to as much as 5 or 10 pages a day, depending on how long you want to work in your day. You want to work for 2, 3 hours, 5 hours, 10 hours. If you're going surgical, the more money these things are worth, the more time you should spend to make sure you get it just right. The less they're worth, the more you should just pump them out in the AI. Get the AI to get all the scores in the green. You should get your 60 to 70% ranking somewhere, and then you keep moving. If they don't like some page, either fix it. If a month later you see they don't like some page, either go and fix it, or 301 it to a page they do like that's on the same topic, answering Ted's question from earlier. That's what you do. If you're trying to rank for best red apples and you have / best red apples, Josh's picks, and / best red apples, and they're both ranking for best red apples, and Google likes one page and hates the other one, then either fix the other one if it seems to have a good answer and a different take on the content, and you think if you fixed it, you just might be able to get content out of it, then fix it. If not, you're like, oh, this was just a crappy carpet bombing page I made anyway, then 301 it to the other page and just move on. And that's how we build sites up quickly. So if it takes longer than 24 hours to get a page ranking somewhere, or if you decided you're doing carpet bombing, targeted carpet bombing anyway, sorry if I misspelled targeted. If you're doing targeted carpet bombing anyway, to build site weight, you sort by easiest and build fast. Okay, so then the next question is, how many pages do I need to build? Okay, so here's another major secret I'm going to show you. So let's take this here, for example. This is looking for Reddit specifically. That's a bad example. What is DZ Strad violin? What is this? This is a particular kind of violin. All right, fine. Let's say you want to rank for this. And now it looks like DZ Strad has 2 of them. Let's say you want to sell this just for a sake of example. How many pages do you need to have to be competitive with these guys? So let me, first off, put in your country. That's important. So I put US in here. So geolocation, this is the search string, by the way. GL, this is a very simplified search string that we use for testing. GL, these are URL parameters that control a lot of Google search. And there's a lot of secrets here that you can learn. So again, I don't have time to go into most of them. Please email me and we'll talk about SEO University. But the one I changed here was geolocation US. HL equals the language, English. PWS equals 0, means personalization equals 0. And Q equals the search query, and there's the search query. So let me take this here, actually, and let me move this actually over to Chrome. Because I have you can look at it like this, and you can turn on a plugin like SEO Quake, and you can just get a general sense of kind of pages they have. This is the amount of pages in Bing they have. 3,000 pages here, 1,600 pages here, 3,000 pages here, same site, eBay, blah, 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 blah. So you've got some really big competitors here, even though they don't really seem to optimize for this query. Again, whether it's a good example or not, it's not really important. What you would do is you put in the query you want to rank for. Again, this one seems to be a direct brand query, so maybe you may not want to compete with them. Or you might want to build this up anyway and be like, who cares? I'm just building carpet bombing, so I'm going to build on anything I can build. What you do is you go here to the site, you pick a site, and how many pages do these guys have on violins? Okay, you do a site colon search for the site, you then put in violin in quotations, and you get a sense now of how many. Now I have G Infinity, the Chrome extension installed, so I can just scroll down and get all the answers, all the pages easier. You try and find out how many pages they have dedicated to this particular topic, the kind of topic that you want to rank for, and these are one of your main competitors. This is going to give you some sense, at least, of the number of pages you're going to need in order to rank for it. Now you notice it's going to be way less. I know it's a curated list, but that's fine. So they have 220 pages plus another 200 that are omitted. So pound for pound, if you want to rank for this, whatever this is, and it'll be different for everybody. And this is one of your main competitors you see keep coming up in the whenever you check the competition, you keep seeing these guys come up, and they're one of the major competition for these kinds of queries. Well, then you're going to have around 200 pages too, aren't you? All things being equal, and again, on-page factors and on-site factors being the largest ranking factors these days, which they are. On-site, here's another major secret. On-page and on-site factors are far more powerful factors than anything, than traffic, which we mentioned was the largest off-site factor, which is both of those are far bigger than links, which people still think is a major factor, which is not. Google has already publicly admitted that links are not within the even top 3 ranking factors anymore. Why? Because it's not 2005 anymore, and the blogosphere doesn't exist anymore. Yes, people are making lots of pages and they make a lot of links, but the general public hasn't made a link forever, right? They don't make links anymore. That's not a reliable way of using it as a tertiary signal for quality, which is, if you read the original PageRank paper published in, 97? That's what they said. They said that links are not a direct way, but a tertiary way we can determine if people think it has quality. It's like a vote, they said. Well, there are far more direct ways they can tell that now, and they do. If you don't know what they are, please email me. I'd be happy to share them with you. Okay, so that's what you do. You check some of these sites that show up when you are looking at some of these queries, and you find them. Like, okay, BowWorks. Look at these guys. All right, BowWorks. The site, and we're trying to rank for a violin. I'm trying to sell violin stuff because I'm a violin affiliate. Who knows? That can make a lot of money, and who knows, it might exist. How much do they talk about violins on this site? Okay, I'll put violin in there, and I'll go down to the very bottom of all the pages they have. They have about 140 pages on violin. Okay, great. Well, that's how many pages I need. For these guys, I'm going to need to be kind of competitive with these guys. So that's what you do. Check your competitors. Do a site colon competitor.com, the topic you generally want to rank for. Either you put it in quotations or not. You can do not quotations as well. And then go to very end of listings. This is a rough guess how many pages you will need. That's a very simple, easy, free way for you to do it, right? You don't need any complex algorithm. You don't need any expensive tool. This is totally free for you, right? We try to keep everything as free as possible in our tactics because we need to keep costs down, right? You need to keep costs down so you can rank cheaper, faster, easier, better than everybody else because that's how you win. I'm trying to help you win. I want you to succeed. I want you to rank cheaper, faster, better, easier than everybody else. And so if you're like Josh, okay, well, like most of them are around 300 pages, but one competitor has 3,000. Okay, well, then that's your range. You're going to need to be at least around 300 pages. Now, between you and me, because SEO Copilot is so effective and so efficient, and we're so good at finding easy keywords to rank for that can make you money quickly, that between you and me, you probably won't need that many pages, right? Because our AI is going to analyze all of the models you need to analyze, the AI models that Google is using to find all the proper keywords you need to put in there, including the heat keywords, including the helpful keywords, the experience, the expertise, the authority and trust keywords, the helpful content keywords, the review AI keywords. We have them all in there. Query intent, query interpretation, DOM vector, which I'm going to talk about in a second what all those are if you don't know what all those are. And we build them in there for you. So you're going to statistically have more success per page. Statistically across the board, you're going to have more success per page. This is a proven fact that I've proven through multiple massive data correlative analysis, scientifically valid studies. And I've done through single variable testing in years and years of single variable testing, years and years of exhaustive, painstaking, make my eyes bleed, single variable testing, which is all private in our mastermind group. So that means, what does that mean? That means that even though these guys have, a lot of pages maybe per se, you might not even need to be on par with them. Another good news is that AI builds faster and better. So you can hit their page amount quickly and might not even need to match them because pound for pound, pound for pound, each page is more efficient, is more efficiently helpful, right? So that's a good thing. Ted says, are you using DeepSeek too? No, I'm not using DeepSeek personally. My testing of DeepSeek, I'm not very impressed by it. We have other AI models that we use. We use multiple AI models from multiple sources. DeepSeek is nothing, in my opinion, but a cheap Chinese ripoff of ChatGPT. It gives the exact same kind of answers that ChatGPT did a few years ago. So no, I don't personally use DeepSeek. Not every AI model is created equal. Quality matters, right? Quality matters. And so that's why you can't just go into ChatGPT and say, hey, write me an article from here, because it won't be high quality enough. That's why you can't go to DeepSeek or Perplexity or any of these places and say, hey, build me an article, because it's not going to be high quality enough. It's not going to have any of this stuff I just mentioned in it that it needs to have, right? It's not going to have any of the models that they're using. It's not going to have any of the EAT stuff. It's not going to have any of the content that you really need to put in the right places at the right times. Ted says, but thanks for the question, my friend. I give you a thumbs up. Ted says, Elon says Grok 3 will be the best. Yeah. Elon says a lot of things. So, yeah. Elon said they're going to get rid of the American penny until they realize that that's going to cost them more money than save them, because if they stop printing pennies, they have to print more nickels, and it'll end up costing more money. But anyway. Scott says, there's a lot of talk about AI content versus human content generation. How does Copilot handle this, or is it not important? That's a great question, Scott. I appreciate it. It is important. There is a statistical slant to deranking AI content if and only if, here's another secret that no one knows. There is a statistical slant to AI content being deranked if and only if it is low quality. If it maintains quality levels, then it is perfectly fine. And even Google wants you to use Gemini to generate content, because they want to win at AI, right? Ted says, Elon and his group are bidding on OpenAI. Yeah, they're bidding on it. It's not for sale. Unless Trump uses his presidential power to make something happen there, which would be like even another level of I'll use the word strangeness instead of corruption. Another level of strangeness that would be like unforeseen in the American history of the country. I strongly doubt will happen. Elon is not going to be buying OpenAI. That's not going to happen. Just like Canada is not going to become the 51st state. That is not. Don't hold your breath. That's not going to occur. That is not going to occur. Okay. Although it's funny for us Canadians to think about. Kind of in a I'm laughing until I'm weeping kind of way. But anyway, I will quickly move on from that. This is a good news. This is a good news podcast. This is good news about how you could use an awesome tool to save time and money doing better SEO that you didn't even know you could do, faster, cheaper, easier, better, getting you more success. That's all good news. I want to keep it on good news. I don't want to go on to topics that are very depressing right now. Okay. So that's how you tell how many pages you need to build, whether you're doing surgical or not, whether you're taking your time per page, and sometimes you're going to go surgical. When it's a harder query or a more lucrative query, or it didn't work the first time doing carpet bombing, and you want to go back and fix it, that's when you're doing surgical. That's when you're like, okay, AI, I'm going to analyze every single thing you did, and I'm going to start double checking stuff. I'm going to start rewording things and changing things and making sure you are the most helpful for human beings possible. I might now be starting to shift you into like a how to do X, how to choose the best red apples, or the ultimate guide for red apples. I might start do a more detailed kind of helpful page there. Maybe not. That's just an example off the top of my head. And that's what you're going to be doing when it's harder or more lucrative, whether you've done targeted carpet bombing first, but whether you're doing surgical or carpet bombing, it doesn't really matter. You need to catch up to your competitors. And your competitors already have hundreds of pages, right? You need to catch up to them. Do not think you're going to rank until you catch up to them. And so now you might be doing the math in your head, and you're like, okay, Josh, well, by hand, I can do 1 page a week for a very high quality page. Or it costs me $1,000 on someone on Upwork, or a few $100s on Upwork. And I'm not talking about a shit page. I'm talking about the kind of quality you need to be able to rank these days, right? So it's going to cost a fair amount of money. And it's going to take a fair amount of time to do the research. Unless you happen to be an expert. And that's why you would stay with violins, because Josh, I've been building violins all my life. I could talk about it till the cows come home. And people on Instagram know that I have 1 million followers on violins. They know I'm a violin master. Great. You can just start writing a page. Go for it. And you might be able to crank out one a day. Great. Good for you. And you notice how that's not by accident. That's by design, right? That's what Google wants. Google does not want us to be able to use the most efficient process to curate content to make the most efficient article, because we know how to make better pages, qua pages, and we don't know how to make pages for violins per se. And they want the violin expert who's been doing it 20 years and has, built up, their username on violinforums.com or on the violin subreddit, because they watch all of this and build up author profiles in their KG, which is what they call their knowledge graph. The knowledge graph is a thing. You notice I haven't mentioned Schema or knowledge graph at all yet. It's a thing, but it doesn't have anything to do with this high-level SEO that I'm talking about right now. And it's not nearly as important as people think it is, in my opinion, and in my testing. But it is important. Don't get me wrong. So there's a place for it. I'll get to that maybe not today, but in courses. There are courses on it in SEO University. So that's what they want, right? It's by design. They want the 20-year expert of violins to rank #1 without doing any SEO, because that's the kind of person they think would have the eat. They'd have the expertise, the experience, and the authority, and therefore they deserve the trust, right? We need to convince Google that we are just as good as them and we know as much as they do. And we do that by mostly relying on AI, relying on our research, because when you're hiring someone on Upwork to do this work for you, or you're doing it for yourself, and you don't know violins from guitars, well, then you're just curating all the knowledge that already exists online, and the AI will do that 1 million times more efficiently than you could every day, day in, day out. So that's why, another reason why we would use AI for that. Okay, so is there any questions here in the tube views? No questions here, but there are more questions here. Ted asks, do Copilot articles have to be tweaked to make them appear less AI generated? The short answer is probably. The long answer is no. And so I'll explain that when I get to the article building. And so anyway, and we're about to move forward to that anyway. So that's basically how it looks, right? AI builds faster and better. You need to do targeted carpet bombing. You probably need to do both surgical and targeted carpet bombing to make sure your harder, more lucrative queries, the page is a little bit better built, to make sure you're getting the rankings. Whether you do it first or you do it second, it doesn't really matter, because you need to build up site weight anyway. You need to compete with your competitors here who have, some already pages built up. And why would you ever imagine that you would rank ahead of anyone who's already got 150 pages of content on this topic that Google trusts? Why should Google suddenly take the upstart's answer above these guys' answer? The answer is because your signals are equivalent or looking just as good, and because you have an answer that, when it comes to the click age probability and how likely it is that people are to stay on your site and like your content and terminate the search, the probability of this, the scores are high. So they try you out more. And because they try you out more, you get more traffic, you get more signals, you will finally get a better site quality score. And you will get that critical mass at some level of pages. We don't know where. There's no way of knowing where mathematically that will happen. The more you build pages, the higher quality they are, the faster you will get that magic number. And so it's just a numbers game at that point. You need to build as high quality as possible, as fast as possible. And you need to choose to do that on the keywords that are going to make you the most amount of money. And there's just two different places you start. You already have a super powerful site, just sort by final ROI and go from the top down. you have a site that's not trusted yet, it doesn't index within 24 hours, then you need to go on very easy and start from there. I've run out of pages that are easy or average to build on, Josh. What do? You need to go to the end of the list. See, I've already got tons of difficulties. You need to go to the end of the list and build more. Don't worry, I will give you the I will give you the credits so that you can cast a wide net, so you can find all the gem keywords in here that are super easy to rank for, but actually make you money that you never would have guessed people are searching, and you never would have found otherwise if you didn't do the keyword discovery phase. All right, guys, so that is keyword discovery. That's why it's so important, and that's where your SEO project should always start. If you don't use the AI for anything else, use it for this. Although I would use it for the rest as well, because you still need to, you can't take a week building a page, and the page can't be low quality either. So the only way to do this at scale that I've found is through artificial intelligence. It's the only way. And kind of think about it. Like, we don't prick our fingers to write in blood anymore. We invented a tool called the pen. And then we invented a tool called the printing press. And then we invented a tool called a typewriter. And then we invented a tool called a word processor. And then we invented a tool called artificial intelligence. And that's just the new tool that's the pen of the age. It does the writing. So there's no reason to think that it's bad. That's what a bunch of other SEOs think, because between you and me, they don't know what else to do. They're confused. They just follow the rumor mill of Google of myth, of SEO myth. They haven't scientifically tested it. They don't have the facts. And so they are being fairly unethical, in my opinion, and just saying, oh, AI content is bad. Hire our writers for 10 grand a month. Like, that has been a tried and true revenue source for them. Understand, that's how agencies have made 99% of their money 99% of the time, charging you $10,000 a month to hire 100 writers on Upwork to build your pages, and they research them and make them at a fairly low quality, I might add. Those days are over. And anyone who fails to realize that is going to lose their shirt. They're going to lose their job. You need to move over to AI, the new writing tool, faster, sooner rather than later. Ted says, does AI create images too, or are they less important than words? Images are highly important for rankings. We have a certain number of recs or recommendations for your images that you have to cover. Yes, AI plays a major factor in that. So again, Ted, you're asking all the right questions, my friend. Again, you need to be joining SEO University so we can add fuel to your curiosity and help you succeed in these regards. You're asking all the right questions. All right, does anyone have any questions about keyword discovery? Anybody on the call have any questions about why you do keyword discovery, why it's so important? Because this is the most important piece here, quite frankly. It is the most important piece, is keyword discovery. You need to start every few months and every new campaign, every new initiative for the customer, you need to find what keywords you should be building for to begin with, to make sure you're not building on inefficient keywords and maximizing the chances of failure. You need, and losing them and losing money and heartache. You need to maximize your chances of success, long-term success, that you're building on the keywords in a way, either surgical or targeted carpet bombing, to get the kind of number that you need. You're building these pages the most efficient way that makes more money sooner, faster, better for you, is what you need to do. Ted says, I always passed on the low-hanging keyword fruit. My bad. Yeah, and good for you, man. Good for you for noticing that. Yeah, but it's so important, and I don't know why, but SEOs these days, they just kind of forgotten about it, and they're like, yeah, it's not a thing, and they don't do it anymore. I don't know why that is. I don't know why. I don't know why people stopped doing it. I guess because everyone thought they knew what people were searching. But you will be surprised. I guarantee to you, every single keyword discovery, you will be surprised. You'll be like, I thought for sure I should be ranking for houses for sale, San Jose. Nope, that way is way too hard and makes too less money. For some reason, all the people now are searching for real estate agent San Jose for some reason. I don't know, because trends change, right? And has the more money and easier to rank for. So that's the one you should be focusing on. You might include the tough one later when you have a powerful site that has equivalent pages that is ranking on page 1 for dozens or hundreds of queries. Then you can try it, but you don't do that first. There is an order of operations in which you do this, right? You don't go to the level 10 spelling bee first. You got to start at the level 1 spelling bee and impress the judges and work your way up. You don't try out for the NHL first when you're 8 years old. You need to start impressing them at the lower levels, and they scout you and you work your way up. That's how it works with Google. If you go into NHL when you're 8 years old, obviously that's not going to work, and they're not going to try you again. And that's exactly, that metaphor is exactly how it works with Google. Have you ever seen Google try you and then not try you again? This is how it looks. Let me show you an actual Search Console of an actual client. This is how this is a section that I built for him. Now, I wouldn't recommend building a section, but I had to because of his antiquated e-commerce platform. This is how it looks, right? This is how it looks when you don't know what you're doing, or you're building pages that are not good, or Google is testing you and trying you. This is rank brain. This is the click age probability being good enough that Google tries you. And you notice the CTR here? You see how the CTR has tremendously jumped up here? This is them sending me traffic, trying me out. And I got enough trials out of that for them to start actually giving me rankings after that. This is how it should look. If it looks like this, mostly dots and dashes on various keywords, that's doing it wrong. This is how it looks when you do it right. And this was all done with SEO Copilot. All these keywords I've gotten him impressions for, thousands of impressions, tens of thousands of impressions, or 4,000 impressions, and no, 216,000 impressions actually, and 4,000 clicks. These are on actual money-making keywords for this guy. These are money-making keywords. These are parts that he sells. These are not informational pages, right? We don't even give a shit if it's informational or not. I'm just saying that building on the most efficient keyword far exceeds the ye olde way of looking at it in SEO of like informational queries or informational transactional queries or transactional queries. We don't care about this. This is the old way of looking at it. This is the inefficient old way of looking at it. All I care about is building on the final return on investment. I care about building on the final return on investment. Ultimately is what I care about. And in order to get tried out and trust from Google, I start on the easiest keywords that obviously people don't know what they're doing to rank for these keywords. And I want to rank for these sooner, faster than later. All right, so that's why keyword discovery is so important. 70%, remember this, 70%, here's another major secret. The vast majority, 70%, approximately 70%, or the vast majority of SEO projects go wrong in not choosing the right keywords in the right order. So don't do that, my friends. Do not make this mistake. I've been cavalier and been like, I've been in SEO forever. I know what I'm doing. And I've got a big customer and I tried to go for the tough keywords right away because that's what they wanted to do. And I didn't follow my own good advice and it all failed, blew up in my face, lose a client. Do not make my mistakes. Learn from my mistakes. The vast majority of SEO projects go wrong in not choosing the right keywords in the right order. So use keyword discovery, use my AI to take what used to be 10 hours of work down into 10 minutes and find and scan tens of thousands of keywords and hundreds of difficulties per session to find the right keywords that you should build in the right order. And that will solve the vast majority of your SEO problems. All of your SEO from there will be better when you base it on that platform. Because all of your SEO is being built on keywords that will make you more money sooner, that are easier to rank for. It is a no-brainer. It is an absolute no-brainer. All right. The rest of today, I'm going to be talking about basically building a page in the article builder. A lot of people have questions. Ted has already asked questions about it. So I'm going to be getting there. You might be like, Josh, hold on. Isn't step 2 Keyword Spy? It is. What you would do is you're in keyword discovery here, and you're like, okay, I want to build these keywords, and I want to try ranking for maybe music store near me. Maybe I want to rank for. So I'm going to find the boosting keywords, and I'm going to put in the United States, and I'm going to put in I'm going to put in United States here. I'm going to put in United States here. Boom. Let's put in here, I don't know, whatever, San Marino, and say go. And so when I do that, it's going to take the near me and it's going to replace it with the location I gave it, because that's what it needs to be relative to. And it'll run that for me in reports. You can also be like, okay, yeah, I want to rank for, whatever it is. Let's go here and find better ones. Maybe I want to rank for graphite violin bow. This is one that I want to start on. Find the boosting keywords. Close this off. Just the United States. Generally for this one, this is a general. United States. Boom, boom, boom. I can also track the positions on my page for free. Free page rankings in Google, in SEO Copilot. You can track your rankings. Leave this alone. I'll be removing this in a second. This was for testing. We don't need this anymore. Click continue, and you'll see it'll be like, okay, boom, we're running this keyword spy report. Or you can be like, where was that near me query here? Final ROI, boom. I could go for, I could also go here to keyword spy, and I could go music store. And let's say I want to do whatever it is. I don't know, Winnipeg, Manitoba. Then I put in the location, Winnipeg. I don't have to put in the location. Like people outside of Winnipeg could be searching it. So I could just leave this alone and say go. I do need to have global though. Global. Oh, hold on. Reload this. Music store, Winnipeg, MB. That's weird. That's weird. Hold on a second. Music store. I mean, I could give it a location. I want to do it global. Winnipeg, MB. Yeah, sure. So fine. So then choose Canada. Great. Okay, let's go. So it'll run this report. It'll run this report. It's running this report here for the other one in a particular location. And you can always archive it or rerun it. Okay. So you'd be like, okay, Josh, I can see here, that's how I run reports. Great. I go to Keyword Spy or I run them directly in here and I'll start building them up. You can sort them in projects, and I have drafts already to upload. I have ones that I've done and ones that I'm going to do. And you can look at them that way. You might be like, okay, so we're going to spend a lot of time in here looking at our competitors and sussing out how to do SEO, right? Nope. My AI already does that for you. My AI does all the work here for you. Here's the good news. The dozens of hours you used to spend with making your eyes bleed trying to suss out competitor ranking signals and guess what the ranking signals are and build like your competitors, I've saved you from 99% of that work. 99% of that work, 99% of the time. There is a very small time, like 1% of the time, where you're building on the highest keywords that make the most money, that are the most competitive, where you should still double check everything the AI is doing for you. But the vast majority of the time, especially if you're doing carpet bombing, so the high 90% of the time, you would just let the AI do the analysis for you. And we rebuild you a bunch of on-page models that Google uses. And you would wait for the report to be done. And when the report's done, you would move directly to clicking this and generating an AI article. Now, the only thing that I do want to show you is in these reports is two things that we do that are very, very important, two features that we have that are very important that nobody else has. One is, first off, we build you all these models. Remember I said RankBrain was the biggest on-page ranking model? So we have RankBrain. We also have how your competitors are using RankBrain entities, whether or not these are all the correct RankBrain entities or not. That's another thing that we do that is beneficial for you. Think about it this way. Here's another major secret, and it's this. The SEO industry is wrong when they do competitive research. And let me tell you why. Because if you're looking at your competitors to get your ranking signals, then necessarily what's going to happen is you're going to get some percentage of good signals and you're going to get some percentage of bad signals. You're going to incorporate both the good and the bad, right? Don't think just because they're ranking number one that every single thing they did is good. You might be like good enough, but that's not correct either. Yeah, it's good enough for them now, but how are you going to beat them, right? That's the second thing to think about. How are you going to beat them? If you are copying everything they've done and you've only seen and copied about 70%, whatever it is, 50% of their good stuff, plus or minus, and you've copied 70% to 50% of their bad stuff, plus or minus, even if you got that perfectly, right? Let's say you just magically, perfectly guessed all the good factors and put them on your page that they're using, that means you're only equal to them. You've only become equal to them. That means you can never surpass them, right? Unless you are doing more off-page and spending more risk and spending more money than they are. And so it's because SEOs didn't really know, they were in want of something to do. They didn't really know what to do, that the SEO industry has kind of been like, oh, I don't know, look at your competitors. And they've been fumbling along this way, and it's been good enough for a small percentage of them, a small percentage of the time. Did you realize that most people doing SEO fail? I bet you didn't realize that. The vast majority of people doing SEO fails. 90% of pages online do not get traffic. That is a stat from Ahrefs. It's a number of years old. I bet you it's like 99% now. The vast amount of people who try to do SEO fail. And why is that? Well, the major reason is because they didn't do this to start. The second major reason is they didn't do this properly either. They looked at the competitors because they went on Reddit and someone said, oh, just look at your competitors. It's easy, blah, blah, blah. Someone on Reddit lied, surprise, surprise, that it's easy. Just look at your competitors. And they went, oh, great. And my heart breaks for them. They got all happy. They thought, I'm going to work from home. I'm maybe an SEO. It's going to be great. And Reddit has my back and Reddit tells me what to do. And no one ever there lies or is stupid or doesn't know what they're talking about, of course. And I'll just go look at the competitors and I will just magically know what's good there and put it on my page and somehow beat them at their own game when I could only copy what they did. Like that's not, do you when I say it this way, does everyone realize how ludicrous that sounds? Right? But that's what they're trying to do. And that's why most of them fail. And you might be like, well, I've never heard this, that most SEOs fail. I thought everyone succeeded at SEO. Of course, because they never come back onto the Reddit forum or the SEO forum and say, I failed. If they did, 99% of the posts in those subreddits or in those SEO forums would be someone saying, I failed. And they would go on millions of posts like that. Millions and millions and millions of posts like that would go on and on and on and on and on and on. But they never come back to admit it, of course. Why would they? It's not a happy thing, right? They're very sad. Their hearts are broken. They've wasted time. They've wasted money. Now they have to go do something else. All because, sadly, they listen to the SEO rumor mill. So that's what I want to save you from. Do not listen to the SEO rumor mill. At absolute best, you have a 1 in a million chance of getting just as good as your competitors. You don't have the chance to bypass them, to exceed them in a way that is cheaper, faster, and better. And that's why you want to use a mastermind group like SEO University. And that's why you want to use a piece of software based on that kind of knowledge. Because in our reports, we have analysis that lets you exceed the competitors, right? We know how to score the entities and rebuild models for you in the way Google builds their models. So you're not just doing what your competitors are doing, you're doing what you should be doing, what Google thinks you should be doing. And we have a number of models here that do this for you that I want to go through really, really quickly. So BERT is one of them. Now, here's another major secret I'm going to give you guys for free. And I'll ask you a question. Is query intent a ranking factor? The SEO industry comes down on this. Let me ask. Is query intent a ranking factor? Prove it. And so you're not going to get any answer. And you're going to get these guys saying that it is. But okay, prove it. How is it a ranking factor? Right? And you're going to have a bunch of people who say it's not. They seem to be obsessed with search intent. Good old Backlinko says. And then he espouses, if your page doesn't satisfy search intent, it's not going to rank. The answer to those two things are wrong. Wrong. Well, kind of wrong. You've got it partially, right? So they're seeing part of it. They're seeing like they're seeing this part, but actually the ranking factor is in this part, and they're only partially eclipsing over it. It's actually not called search intent for Google or query intent for Google. It's called query interpretation. Now I call it query intent here for all the lay people who never heard the word query interpretation, but that is actually in another Google leak. Not this Google leak and not this Google leak, but another Google leak we have access to in the group. We have pretty much all the leaks that I know of. Query interpretation is a major ranking factor. It's verbatim said so, and that's what they call it, query interpretation. So in SEO University, that's what we call it. We try to use Google's terminology as much as possible. And it's not query intent per se, but it covers the same thing. And this is how it works. It literally does interprets the query and does a rewrite of the query. When people type this into Google, graphite violin bow, Google changes it to this search. And this is right about 9 times out of 10. They change it to graphite violin bow and their features benefits and comparison of graphite versus traditional materials or violin bows. I'd say 99% of the time actually. The high percentage of the time my AI gets this right. Because my AI looks at the entire shard collection, which is another fancy computer science term. Shard collection, what is? A shard collection is a collection of data that has been split across multiple machines or shards to improve the performance and scalability. So that's how Google refers to their database, that their server Mustang returns to them. It's called Mustang. That's the internal searching server. Image Mustang. Mustang is their Mustang repos, Mustang snippets. Mustang is the workhorse system, which is different than, say, Terra Google, which is their local system. And so Mustang takes the collection across multiple shards in their sort one, remember, of RankBrain, and gives you an answer. But before it even does that, for query interpretation, it takes this query and retypes it basically, almost bluntly like that, to this, to give you answers along these lines. This is what your competitors are doing in that regard. You see, none of them are hammering the features and benefits as hard. Where is, how high is features? Features, F-E-A-T, feature. Yeah, barely, basically no one's talking about this. Look at this. It's 4 out of 10, which means it is help boost. This is RankBrain analyzed 1,000 pages for the shard collection. For this BERT, we analyzed 1,000 pages. So again, also when people are doing competitive research, they only look at the top 10. We're looking at thousands. We're looking at thousands of pages, right? And that statistical slant of what you should be saying is across thousands of pages, not just the top 10. And this is not even curated to the top 10. So that is not there. What about benefits? Oh my God, the word benefit doesn't show up here at all. So again, that's a huge misstep, right, from your competitors. That is what Google wants to see, and no one's even taking advantage of this. Oh, no, that's the one that, because my AI said. So we do this. No one does this for you. Everybody else is copying what the competitors do. We go further than what the competitors do, and we actually rebuild you AI models of AIs that we know that Google is using. We know that Google is using RankBrain and BERT. RankBrain, BERT, neural matching, Google list of algos for search. Yes, I'm not a robot. Here it is. Here's what they tell you they use. They publicly admit they use them here. Look, BERT, they use. Crisis deduplication, we have that in there. EMD system, we have that in there. Freshness, we have that in SEO Copilot. MUM, we have an SEO Copilot. Neural matching, we have an SEO Copilot. That's another major on-page ranking factor. Original passage ranking system we have, RankBrain we have, spam detection we have, helpful content we have. Although, it's interesting. This one, it's evolved to become part of our core ranking system. That was the helpful content update. Look at that. Neat. I hadn't been back to this page. So it's part of the core system, like I said. That's part of the helpfulness is the click age probability score they get here. Fascinating. They're still using neural matching. Wow. Neural matching is their oldest AI. It has nothing to do with the other AIs. Notice it didn't say knowledge graph anywhere in there, by the way. Okay. So there's this one that we use. So we exceed everybody else. We rebuild you a model for those models that Google uses. And we give you insights on how to get better than your competitors, right? Which is what you need to do. You can't just say, okay, I'm running the Boston Marathon. I'm going to start 10 minutes late and I'm going to tie the same weight of anchor to my ankle and try to beat other people. That's too inefficient. They need to have a bigger boat anchor than you do, and you need to have a smaller boat anchor or no boat anchor. And that's how you're going to win the race. That's how you stack the deck, right? That's how you increase the chances percentage-wise that you're going to succeed, which is what you need to do to succeed. The other thing that we do here is competitor HTML widgets. Now, the question is page type a ranking factor? That is another a question they have. Is page type a ranking factor? They say, yes, it can indirectly be considered a ranking factor. Wrong. Completely wrong. This is another reason why you don't ask AI to help you, just generally, without an AI being programmed like ours is. If I could have just used ChatGPT and not have to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars building this, and thousands of hours of time and working to the bone, do you think I would have done this? No. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme from Josh. This is a, shit, I have to make this because there's no way to succeed at SEO effectively if I don't kind of play. I hope it makes me money in the future. It certainly is not making me a lot now. It costs a lot to build these kinds of things. Anyway, is page type a ranking factor? Nope, it's not. This is totally wrong. This is their rough guesses. Page type is not a ranking factor, but DOM vector is. What is DOM vector? What is the DOM? The DOM stands for the Document Object Model. It is an object model they make off of the HTML, as you can see here. This is Standard Web Technology 101. I'm sure some of you have heard of this before. And this is how Google indexes your pages. They fully admitted that they index the document object model. And what do I mean by a vector? DOM vector is a ranking factor. That means the object model that they create from these elements with these nested nodes, and not only these nested nodes, but these properties, these attributes with their properties are also ranking factors. So that means that, and we've never had a tool that was smart enough to do this, because you'd literally have to look at hundreds of thousands of lines of HTML and see what was statistically significant among all of them as they trend towards spot number one. That's the vector. as they vector towards spot number 1 in order to know what would be good for your ranking pages. Now we have a tool that can start to inform you, okay, well, you're going to need product listings and ratings. You're going to need these kinds of things, right? This is the kind of stuff that they're looking for. With this exact kind of HTML structure and this exact kind of sub-elements inside the elements, all those things are ranking factors. And so that also means a couple other things, like is WordPress a ranking factor? So here's some more secrets I'm going to drop. Is WordPress a ranking factor? And not really, not unless WordPress, all of your competitors in the shard collection of the 1,000 pages you get back or more are all using WordPress, and they all have WordPress related HTML that gets stuffed into the page, then yes, it's a ranking factor. Does that mean Wix and Joomla and Shopify and all those are ranking factors? Yes, probably. Again, only if your competitors are using them. Is that why sometimes when people install WordPress and none of the competitors are using it, that they lose rankings? Yes, because then they moved their HTML structure and therefore their DOM vector and what we would call page type, they moved it too far away from what the vector was. And that could mean even SEO plugins are ranking factors. Because if everyone has Aria installed or Yoast installed or something like that, and all your 1,000 competitors do, well then statistically, and it is vectoring towards spot number 1, well then yes, that's all a ranking factor. So my AI analyzes this for you, and it's just something I wanted to point out because people don't even realize this is a ranking factor or that it's important, much less that my AI is doing this, how to suss this out and how to determine what's going on here, much less than my AI is doing this all for you automatically. Okay, so that's all good news. Ted says, is a WordPress theme a ranking factor? Yes. Possibly yes. Again, if it's more complex than that actually, Ted, which is why I'm having trouble answering the question with the yes or no. If your HTML is a ranking factor for sure, and the nesting of it and the properties you use and the property values you use, the attributes you use and the attribute values you use are a ranking factor. And so if everyone else has your same WordPress theme, then yes, it's a ranking factor. But probably everyone else doesn't have your WordPress theme. You're probably going to be an outlier using a WordPress theme. Ted says, I think the Beaver Builder changes WordPress code. It might, I don't know. It's more complex than that. So the good news is that my AI is telling you here, basically, okay, look at, these are the kinds of things you need to have in the page. It might not be styled great here on this page. This is just an example, so that's fine. These are the kinds of things you're going to need in your page, right? And it's doing the best job it can with only the main content piece. The entire HTML page is a ranking factor. That includes the header, the footer, the navigation components. It includes everything. So ultimately, you do need to worry about this in very competitive niches, but 80% of the time, it does 80% of a good job. And so you can basically just let the AI generate it and not have to worry about it too much. But yes, all HTML is a ranking factor, and you need to be within the machine learned vector. It's not an average, it's a vector. It's different. An average would be, okay, well, if the 1 million pages trying to rank for graphite violin bow has an ASCII star in it, therefore this is a huge ranking factor that boosts you. If you have this, you get boosted for this. If you don't have it, you get demoted for this. That's not how it works. It's whoever is vectoring to number 1. What do they have? The people that get the clicks, the short clicks and the long clicks, are people who are getting the better clicks, the long clicks. The people who are proving through traffic that they have high quality pages. It's the stuff that they have that really is what's important. So you might see that on page 1, you might not. You might not. Page 1 could be a bunch of outliers of people who don't have this stuff at all, but for whatever reason, Google is giving them other boosts. There are other, this is a major ranking factor, but there are other major ranking factors. So you can't just rely on looking at what your top 10 does. And the good news, Ted, is that My AI is doing 80% of this work for you that you don't really have to worry about. Okay, so then let's finish it off then. That is basically what you'd look at in reports, but do you ever have to look at this? Not really. Like I said, 80 to 90% of the time, you just let it build. You let it build, and it does all the work for you, or most of the work for you. Especially if you're doing carpet bombing. If you're doing carpet bombing, then you let it build, and it gets it mostly right most of the time. And our AI is just getting better over time to get it all right all the time. Okay, so let's go now then to the article component. So that's the last thing to do. You can build an article from here. You can say, okay, you can check on the reports here and see, okay, what's built? Why'd this fail? Go check out the numbers. Okay, these are ones I pasted in from competitors. You can check out the numbers to see how they look here, if you've generated an article for it or not. You can generate an article here, and you can say, okay, you notice how it pulls in the topic of the article from the query interpretation or query intent? That probably was the BERT model that it used to build this, which is a language model similar to ChatGPT. That's what the T stands for, both a transformer. BERT stands for bidirectional encoding representations from transformer. GPT stands for generative pre-trained transformer. And match AI analysis is saying, if you leave this sentence here, it's going to use the competitor page type. It's going to use that amalgamation it found in the shard collection of what kind of page you should be building. A few other ways that our writer is superior to all the other AI writers as well is that you can do all these things. You can do the URL, the title, and the meta description for you. Also, you can add a custom knowledge base. What's that? Let me show you. If you click the help here, you can see what it is. Basically, it's a whatever.txt file, and it has clear and user-friendly instructions of like a writing brief. It tells you how to write for this. So all of this would be one custom .txt, a knowledge base.txt. So you'd say, use this author profile, and you'd use this, and you'd write from her perspective, and you'd use this profile, and you'd say, write about this product, right? So this was for the query CBD oil for pets, or CBD oil for cats, actually. And so I made up a fictitious product called Ultra Pet, oil for cats. I gave it the price, I gave it the 4 stars, because I saw in the SEO Copilot that it wanted that, right? I saw in the HTML widgets that it wanted this kind of stuff. It wanted star ratings, it wanted prices, it wanted features and descriptions, it wants a table with the data in it. This is helping you make a more high quality article. And I said, okay, use these testimonials, use these star ratings, because I knew that it wanted to use that. And so I gave it the data for it. Another pro tip to remember is that the FTC, if they even still exist in America, I'm not sure if they do, they might have been destroyed by the current administration, I'm not sure. But the FTC, before that, made it illegal to use AI-generated testimonials. So although they rank just fine, AI testimonials do rank just fine, and Google likes testimonials that are positive, it's illegal to, according to the FTC in the US, I'm not a lawyer, can't give legal advice, this shouldn't be construed as legal advice, but I believe I saw, and you should check yourself, that the FTC had made it illegal to use AI-generated ratings and AI-generated reviews. So I would highly recommend your business, as Ryan said earlier, needs to look like a real business. Again, why would Google trust you enough to be proud of you and to be proud to be giving your answer to their users' questions? The more you look like a real reputable business that people like and people love, and the more they can tell this by what it says on your site and what it says on every other site online, is the more you're going to rank. And so if you don't have actual testimonials, if you don't have real business signals, I would highly recommend you get them as fast as possible. So there's another major pro tip for you. Okay, so we could generate the article here. We could generate it from here, or we could generate it from here. I don't have a custom knowledge base, and I'll say go. So it'll say fine, so it'll say analyze it. It'll start constructing the article for this particular thing. So let's look here at an article do I have one that I built recently? So what do I have here for picture booth rental? Okay, great. So here's an article I generated. And you see, I'm using the actual custom knowledge base. I've got the actual reviews. I've got their contact information. I've got the pros and cons. I've got the table of data. I've got the stuff they wanted. This article is probably fine. I don't need to make any changes to this article. Unlike other tools that kind of blend all of the SEO fuzzy signals into a very fuzzy dial and one score, we have 4 scores. That's a good thing. 4 scores on 7 years ago. That's a good thing that we have 4 scores. Because this is giving you a much more precise and a much more trustworthy set of scoring for your SEO. If you're doing SEO with a tool that has 1 score, run away screaming. Because if SEO was simple enough, you could boil it down to 1 score, then a lot more people would be succeeding than they are. And I wouldn't have needed to build it this way either. This is the easiest I can make it. And let me explain to you what the scores are. The Google semantic score is the most important. I've done scientifically valid I've done scientifically valid massive statistical data correlative analysis of AI generated content and regular content. So there is tens of thousands of pages in regular content and AI content, hundreds of thousands of pages actually, and that is statistically significant. So it is a valid scientific study, and so I know that you need to be in this ratio, right? Your semantic score, or that is to say, your keyword density. That's what people used to call keyword density, and that's what your semantic score is. Making sure you're using the natural language entities that you need to be using. Now, you're going to ask, is that NLP? Nope. This is not natural language processing. Google has multiple AIs, some of which are not natural language processors or not the same NLP demo as you would use on Google. They are totally different artificial intelligences. RankBrain, totally different. BERT, totally different. Neural matching, totally different. So we have a tiered structure of how we score all these, similar to the way Google does it in results here. See, we have a term weighting BERT, we have a RankBrain, we have a BERT that's scoring all these up. I'm about to add a helpful content one here as well that scores them all up and tells you what you should be using. So it's much more complex than just one AI, and it's much more complex than just one score. So basically, if you want to rank the best, statistically speaking, if you want to rank number 1, you need to have the right density, right? You need to be saying the right entities in the right ratios. And here's another thing I want you to notice. Here's another major pro tip. For many years, people thought that SEO, and they were right, for many years, like back in the year 2000, people thought that, oh yeah, SEO is easy. I just put my keywords in my URL, I put my keywords in the title, I put my keywords in the meta description, I put my keywords in the H1, and I put my keywords in the body content. And that's just the general rule of thumb for SEO, and that's how you do SEO. And you know what? They were right. They were right for 10 years, 15 years. But those days are long, long over. I'm sorry to say, those days are long, long over. Google realized it was too easy and has made it far, far, far more complicated than that. And their ability to serve quality, helpful pages makes it and their desire to sort out pages that are high quality makes it far, far more complex than that. There is no human way. Here's another reason why you need to use AI. There is no human way to do it anymore. It's not about stuffing a keyword here and stuffing a keyword here. It's about stuffing a keyword across the entire page. And it's not about stuffing one keyword in or 2 keywords in that's important. It's about stuffing in hundreds of keywords that are important, that need to be used. And some are more important than others. Some are more important than others. There's a whole spectrum of keywords that needs to be used across the entire page. And you need to have a breadth of content. You need to be saying concepts that are important and helpful, that helps you speak about the topic in a way that is showing off your experience, your knowledge of the topic, your expertise, your helpfulness of how well you teach it, and your authority, how authoritative you are talking about the topic, and therefore why you deserve the trust, which, as you can imagine, is the heat part, the expertise, experience, authority, and trustworthiness. So these are measuring some of the same things. They're blended over as we separate them out as much as we can, but they do deserve to be separated out and not made one fuzzy SEO signal. And this one is the most important one. So if you're like, Josh, how do I make sure I've done the proper on-page with SEO Copilot? Well, it doesn't matter if you're using SEO Copilot or not. To do proper on-page, you need to make sure you have the right entities mentioned in the right amount, in the right frequency, in the right ratio, without overstuffing them either, in the right places. Okay, how do I do that by hand? You don't. You just don't. And AI has to do this for you. It's just not possible. Anyone who says otherwise is lying to you. And I bet you any money they don't own a private group where they get to hear the complaining of people who their strategies are failing for. Unlike SEO University, where I get to hear whether the strategies are working. And I hear right away whether the strategies are working. And on the rare occasion that they're not, and that happens because Google makes changes. 100 days out of the year, everything's working fine. The 101st day, someone says, this didn't work so well. I have to retest everything. And then we find out how they changed it. And Google changes things all the time. And then we fix it. And they're like, yep, ranking number 1 again. Thank you. And they move on. That's another pro tip. Don't accept SEO advice from people you can't actually talk to directly and come back and say, hey, that didn't work. I'm not ranking number 1. Why not? And they can't help you diagnose and help you actually fix it. Because those people have no duty to you. They have no duty to you. They have no connection because they have no connection to you. They don't even know that their advice is bad and it's not working, right? Because they post some blog article and they didn't even write it. Do you think Neil Patel and Brian Dean and whoever the fuck else, do you think they write their blog? Nope. They have writers writing it. They don't even know what's being written. They're content marketers. They're not SEO. They're not SEOs. They have no idea how to do SEO. None. They've just won the lottery. Out of 1 million people trying to be Neil Patel, out of 1 million people, content marketers trying to be Brian Dean, they knew just enough and produced enough content to win this race. And they have such a healthy lead by having 1 million pages on their blogs that it's almost impossible to catch up. That doesn't mean they know how to do SEO. So anyway, so if you're going to join any SEO group, make sure it's one where you can chase down the person who told you to do that thing and say, hey, it didn't work. And they're like, oh shit, I'm sorry. Okay, let's check it out. Let's find out why. Blah, 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 blah. And then what kind of scientific study did you do beforehand to tell me to do this thing? And if their answer is, I don't know, I read it somewhere, run away screaming. If their answer is, science, what's that? Run away screaming. If their answer is, well, I did it one time 10 years ago and it worked, run away screaming. If their answer is, I do it all the time on all my pages and it works, run away screaming. Because I don't believe them. Oh yeah, what pages? Show me the pages. Hey, this page seems to be ranking number 6. Hey, this page you said it was working on is ranking number 20. Oh, well, it was working before. Mumble, 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 mumble. Run away screaming. There is no, that's sadly the current state of the SEO industry, is a rumor mill. And you know how well, like if medical science worked on rumor, do you know how many people would be sick and dying? The median life expectancy would still be 30 years old. We'd be back in the dark ages. The SEO rumor mill is in the dark ages. Perhaps there are demons in the page. And we must use the screw to open up the skull of the page and let the demons out. Like that's the level of technology for SEO. And it worked great while SEO was great enough. It worked 80% of the time for 80% of the people back in the year 2002. Not that way anymore. Like 8% of the time for 8% of the people is how well it works now following the SEO rumor mill. So again, the good news is you're in the right place. Okay. So that's why it's important to measure things scientifically, and that's why these SEO scores are so important. And the one that we've measured scientifically that is the most correlative, that is to say, it has the highest statistical correlation, it has the best statistical correlation, is the Google Semantic Score. You really want to be in this range. Now, I'm 3 points over. I'm fine by that. 3 points over is fine. A little secret between you and me is that you could be at 82 or 83. You could be 2 points over this and still rank number one statistically, and there's no variation. There's no deviation. However, if you are at 70 or 69, there is a massive deviation. It's the difference between ranking number one and like ranking number 6. So you definitely want to be in this range. The next one, the next scores that are the second most important are tied. It's the one that Ted asked me about earlier, average predictability length. And that one needs to be under 4.13. And the spam score. Now, the body spam score here is still too bad. I would not go with a 65% spam score. That's for damn sure. So I haven't fixed this all the way. I'm in the middle of working on this page for a client. So what is the average predictability length? The average predictability length is the number of words. I'll just use words. It's actually not words. It's word pieces. They're called tokens. But it's the number of words you can have in a row on average, which would be the exact same words that any AI would choose when it's writing content. AIs are statistically determined predictable models. It's just a big autocomplete, is all it is. And so statistically, it knows how it likes to talk about any given topic. And so, if you have one word that AI would use, fine. You have 2 words in a row AI would use, fine. You have 3 words in a row AI would use, fine. You have 4 words in a row that would be the exact word AI would choose on average per sentence, fine. But 4.13 is where we start to see drops from ranking number 1. And by the way, this is not necessarily, and the attentive listener will notice, this is not necessarily an AI-generated content problem or an AI-generated content detector. This is just detecting prosaic writing, really boring writing, basic business speak writing. I have seen human writing score 5 or 6 out of this score. And I've seen AI content like this score 3.83, right? If it's engaging and it's good writing and it's good content, then this will be a lower score. So this highly correlates with rankings as well. The more you are above 4.13, like if you're starting to get to 5 or 6, that is a definite no-no. You definitely need to fix that. And just make sure that you've got the content piece pasted in here correctly so we don't have any weird HTML screwing it up. We've built a new importer that should work better in doing that, and we used AI to scrape pages. So that should be better for you coming up. We also have I'll show you guys. We also have a page audit feature that we're building coming up. On-page audit. You could do your own audits here. You could put in pages, and you can see we have all the stuff for you, telling you all the stats of this page, whether it's what it's recommended to go for, where it's ranking, what the title, meta, and H1 scores are for all these, what the page should look like, what kind of content it should have, what the query intent is. We also have export as a PDF. You can white label it and export it. And you see it starts giving you a white labeled explanation of how this all works and what you should be doing. And you can take this off here. I don't care. Go ahead, take this off and white label it. I don't give 2 shits. Go ahead and print these off for your client. Charge your client $14 a page or $44 a page to do a page audit. You could do this all day. It'll take 5 minutes in SEO Copilot. So we got that feature coming. It'll be coming out pretty soon. Okie dokie. So that's a cool thing we got coming out. Right now we have to copy and paste stuff in here, but that's coming out soon. It'll do it for you, and it'll do it all auto magically for you. Alrighty. Yeah, so this is a very important one. Like if you're at 4.2, 4.3, that's not too bad. But the more you're like, if you let this be 84 in the red and you let that be 4.3, you got two that are in the red. That means this is not dialed in perfectly, right? The next one that ties for second important are the spam scores. All of these spam scores. And now I showed you in Google how important spam was and how many different algorithms they have to track it. And my AI is trained very similar to the way that Google AI is. You can ask CP questions down here. You can see, please explain how the spam scores work. You can ask it for more information down here. But basically, it's helping you make good quality content. It says, perfect, you did it greatly. There's no extraneous directories in here. The syntax is good. You have a dash between the words. It's great. Here's the title tag. It effectively serves the query intent for this, offering a solution for a photo booth for a wedding. The EMQ picture booth rental is mentioned once, which is great. Title also includes a date, providing a fresh signal for the content. The grammar and title case are correct. This is all sufficiently acceptable. It's telling you what's good about it. It'll also tell you what's bad about it, right? The meta description as well. And there's a different AI that does meta description, by the way. People don't know this. Title, URL, and page are all the same entities. Meta description, totally different AI with different entities, by the way. Neither of which are knowledge graph, just so you know. Not that Google doesn't use knowledge graph, it does. But I've never seen it use it for ranking. Not anywhere near as important as, like in the wild, it won't give you a boost. In actual ranking, Schema won't give you a boost that we can see. There are other groups that have done tests. I've looked at their tests. That doesn't mean that the Schema is giving you a boost. I've never found a way to get a boost out of Schema, although it does help you flesh out Google's knowledge graph, that's for sure. And if they understand your knowledge graph, they may rank you faster or accept other signals faster, but it doesn't give you pound for pound a boost. It's like an enabler. The knowledge graph, so here's a pro tip. The knowledge graph is more like an enabler. And you got to think of the knowledge graph as not only what you're saying on your site, but what everyone's saying about you all over the place. Whether it's in Schema or not, it doesn't matter. Whether it's in JSON or not, doesn't matter. Whether it's in Schema or not, doesn't matter. Whether it's an item prop attribute, doesn't matter. Whether it's just markup language, doesn't matter. Whether it's straight text, doesn't matter. Google can and does extract data from all of these places. Pound for pound, we've found HTML that boosts you more than Schema tags do. And we help you have them in the content here. They're worked in here. A lot of the secrets we found out in SEO University are worked into this content. So here, anyway, the spam score does highly correlate with rankings. The higher and redder this score is, the worse you will rank. I can statistically guarantee it. And so you definitely want to make sure you get those scores down. So the question is, how would I do that? Let's say I want to fix these scores. I'll do that in 1 second. Let me just finally explain the heat score. And finally, the heat score, I have to admit the heat score correlates with rankings the least compared to these other three scores, but it is very important to make sure that you have helpful content. It is very important to make sure that you're providing a substantial, complete, or comprehensive description, that you're providing insightful analysis that is interesting beyond the obvious, right? 7 is the base score here to pass. It's 70% is a pass. If this, even a pass is not good enough. I'd rather see this at 8 or 9. So this is giving you hints that, you know what, this is not very insightful and it's not very interesting. And again, why is Google going to trust an answer and try out an answer that is not very insightful or not very interesting? Or that is not the kind of stuff that you'd find in a printed magazine. It just barely passes that. Or seems mass-produced, because it is mass-produced, or outsourced to a large number of creators, like you've got someone on Upwork to do it, or spread across a large network of sites without that much attention or care. This is barely a passing grade for this. So can you rank with this just being in the green like this? Yes, but those are more helpful hints there that you should really look at when you're doing surgical SEO. When you're doing carpet bombing, you just try and get to the green or as close as possible and you go. And if this particular page doesn't rank, I'll come back later and I'll fix it, or I'll just 301 it to a page it does. Actually, what is a photo booth and why rent one? I could make that smaller. It would fit in better. I don't know. That's probably pretty good. Yeah, this is where individual SEO comes in. I'm like, anyway, okay. So those are the 4 scores. Now, when you generate content, you may or may not get, depending on the length, this is the version 2.1 beta of our high quality article writer. We're currently working on version 3. Version 2 at around 800 words nails most of these scores out of the box. If it gets longer, it starts to get harder for the AI to generate quality content or at least match these scores. It's still quality content. It just needs some tweaking on your part. And that's where you're going to get, that's too strong. That's where you're going to get problems. So let's say this is what I generated, right? Let's say it comes out with this score and comes out with this score. How would I fix this? Okay, so how I would fix this is it's a little bit too rich. So what I'm going to do, I can ask CP, how do I fix the high semantic score? CP will tell you how to do it. I could also ask CP how to do it, but basically it's going to tell you, use the downscore button. Our advanced AI will go through, you could use the upscore and downscore buttons as it tells you here. You could also add content, you can rewrite sections, you could reduce the keyword entity and usage. Using the downscore button is the easy way to do it though. What I would do is I'd come down here to the bottom, I would highlight this, and I would use the downscore button. This is going to start removing content out. I'm going to come here and say, use the downscore button. This is going to start removing content out, downscore button. Also, see how it takes away the bold? It's going to replace the bold. That's too bold. I'm going to try this again here. Okay, great. Use this, downscore this, replace, downscore this. There we go. This probably won't go down enough yet. Okay. And now you might be like, Josh, why did you do this from the bottom? Because it's been long known. Here's another pro tip. Have you ever heard of naming spots? It's been long known that in the top part of the article, Google counts these keywords more. SEO University knows exactly how much more, in fact, and what the cutoff point is. Email me to get access to SEO University. And again, wait till the end of this. I've got a good gift for you to get in at a very cheap price. And I've also got discounts on SEO Copilot as well that you can have access to. But basically, the reason why I go down to the bottom and start stripping out words is because some of these words could be important. Some of these topics that it's talking about could be the topics that make me helpful, right? So when I'm stripping out words, I want to do it from the bottom up. Okay. So now let's go here down. Let's downscore this one. Let's downscore this one. This seems to be that seemed to be superlative, actually. Oh, no, it wasn't. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Use that there. Boom, boom, boom. Starting to bring down the scores. See how they're starting to come down now? And so that's what I would do. I would keep going. I don't care if this is 2 points over. This is fine. And this score should still be quite low. So I don't care. It should be under the 4.1 anyway. This being 2 points over is not a problem. Again, between you and me and the Zoom call, 2 points over is all right. But do not ignore this entirely. Do not be like, oh, I'm at 100 and this should be 80. That'll be fine. Nope. I guarantee to you, you're going to have a ranking problem. Whether this ranks for you or not does not matter. I guarantee to you, you're leaving ranking points on the table and you're increasing your risk for the future. Okay, so that's how I would get this down. I would do the down score button. How would I fix the spam scores? Well, the easiest way to fix the spam score, let's just rerun them all. The easiest way to fix the spam score is to read what it says and read between the lines, right? You need to go in and read between the lines. Right now, it thinks the H1 is a little too hot, and it thinks the body spam score is too hot. Okay, So one way to fix this, easiest way is to read it. It says the content provides an overview, blah, blah, blah. However, the phrase photo booth rental appears multiple times, which could be perceived as keyword stuffing. So again, remember, we know that Google tracks keyword stuffing. Now, I put it here under spam. We know that Google has both spam algorithms that might look at keyword stuffing and also keyword stuffing algorithms. But I put it all under spam. But remember, they have multiple algorithms to look for this stuff. So you got to deal with it. You got to take care of it. Opting for our top tier photo booth service will elevate the atmosphere. Could be rephrased to avoid redundancy. So what you do is you say, okay, basically it's going to say you're doing keyword stuffing, find out where. So I'm going to find the word rent here. I'm going to look for rent, photo booth rental service, picture booth rental. So this is so getting rid of photo booth here, rental service, top tier rental service. That was 2 SEO'd, right? Look at this. I said photo booth rental service here. That is basically almost exactly what the EMQ is. So I need to get rid of the words photo booth here. So find the word rent again. Why rent a photo booth? This is pretty strong. But this is what I want to talk about. I could put camera in here as well. Why rent a photo camera booth? That might stop it from being so rich to photo booth and renting a photo booth. Because again, that's the EMQ, and it really depends on what the EMQ is. So let's go down here for rental price, great. Rental price, great. Higher rental cost, rental. I'm looking for the phrase photo booth rental, renting a photo booth, DIY versus purchasing versus renting a photo booth. I could just do this and probably it would be fine. That might be all right. So let me get rid of this. Rent. DIY photo booth, renting a photo booth. So we have it way down here in an H3. That's probably a little too harsh here. Renting a photo digital camera or traditional booth. So I could put in these extra words here to break it up, right? And then just check the rest, see if I stuffed it in there. Final thoughts, should you rent a photo booth? Elevate your event with a photo booth rental from CG Interactive. So again, that's directly, look how SEO this is. This is clearly SEO sentences. Should you rent a photo booth? Elevate your event with a photo booth rental from CG Interactive. Perfect for weddings, corporate events, blah, 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 blah. I think this is probably a little too rich. And anyway, at any rate, this is how you would get down the spam score. Okay, Ted, I see your question. I will put it here, and I'll be happy to answer that in a second. So I don't know, I think to play it on the safe side, should you rent a photo booth? For your event. Elevate your event with a photo booth rental. Elevate your event with a rental from CG Interactive. Perfect for weddings, corporate gatherings, or brand activations. They're state-of-the-art digital photo booth technology. That's how you stuff in keywords, right? digital photo booth technology. I removed it from rental there and added it here, right? That's how you stuff in keywords for SEO. Okay, so that should have improved it. That will have probably made this go down 1 point. Nope, I managed to stay the same. Okay, so now we can rerun this and see if it notices how much we've reduced it. Now it still doesn't like the H1 at 50%. Let's see what it says. The body is like, you still say, okay, now you got to read what it says. The content provides a comprehensive overview. However, the ultimate guide to running a photo booth and the repeated use of photo booth and picture booth throughout the text suggests an attempt to optimize for search engines rather than focus solely on human readability. Okay, it thinks I say photo booth too much. I know that I'm not saying photo booth rental or picture booth rental anymore because I've checked. So you can ignore this, right? The AI is going to be very strict, so I can ignore this. But it says I'm still using picture booth and photo booth too many times, which is entirely possible. I'm over the semantic score. So fine, let's do that. Let's go and search now for booth. Let's pull out booth. Renting a photo booth. Now this is the top here. Photo camera booth, photo booth transforms. Photo booths are not just about taking pictures. Okay, a booth adds dynamic with a camera booth. Yeah. Camera, photo camera booths, blend technology with beyond the fun factor, booths provide. See, now you can read it and be like, is it saying photo booth too much for event planners? Photo booth is a hassle-free solution. I'll keep it there. Which type of booth? Open air, photo booths. See how I say booth? See it says booths here? Booth, 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 booth. Closed photo booths, open air booth, 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 booth. 360 photo booths. Unlike static booths, booth, standard booths, type of booth, boomerang booths, glam photo booth, unlike traditional booths. Ted says, use photography instead of photo. That's a great question, Ted. So thank you very much for saying that. Why am I not using photography instead of photo? Because the words photography and photo mean the exact same thing. That's why I'm not using picture either, right? You have to abstract this out. Picture booth and photo booth and photography booth all mean the same thing. That's why I can't change it to those other subwords. I have to write it because that will look just equally as SEO spammy. As my spam score said, the spam score says you're saying picture booth and photo booth too much. Those are basically equivalent. So I've got to watch out for those words and not say those words. And if you're in doubt, and you're like, how do I know if the words are the same, Josh? Go to keyword discovery. Go to, well, actually, let me search here. Photo, let's go to picture booth rental. And go, boom, here. Picture booth rental. That's our handy dandy new search feature. Okay, so for photo booth rental, now look to see here, we got all these picture booth ones here that come up for the search. Now all we want to do is get rid of the keyword up here, actually. And now we have photo booth rental. And now you can see which ones have the same number, the same monthly searches, the same exact same ad CPC. These are equivalent as far as Google's concerned. Photo booth, photo booth booth, photo booth, photo booth, photo booth booth, and photo shoot booth are all equivalent as far as Google is concerned. So I can't replace photo shoot booth with photo booth because those are the same words. That's not going to help it become less spammy, right? I need to change photo shoot and photo booth, photo camera shoot booth. I have to put words in between them. Although photography doesn't show up here, I guarantee you photography is probably going to be the same. Technically it's not, but it's probably too close for my liking, and my spam score probably is not going to like that either. So that's at the end of the day how you tell. So what's the same as picture booth? Picture booth rental. Picture booth rental is 60,500. So all these ones here, picture booth rental, photography booth rental, photo booth for rent, these are all the same. Photo booth rental is the same, right? And I could just list them by, my response is undefined, what does that mean? I can list them by, that's because I was playing with it. Here they are here. These are all the same. So these are all words I cannot use. Photo booths for rent, photography booth rental, photo booth rental, and picture booth rental are all the same word. So if I try to replace this with this, it's still going to be spammy. I hope that makes sense. That's where you would find out for sure if you're in doubt. So anyway, what was I working on here? Picture booth rental. Yeah, I know. And then what was it? Photo? Was it? No, it was booth. Booth. And I'd gotten down to open air. I'd gotten down to enclosed. Photo booth. Here we go. 360 I did. Boomerang booths, glam booths. Green screen photo booths. These booths, green screen booths. DIY photo booth. Buying a photo booth. Booth technology. The booth experience. I could probably leave that there. Great. Okay. Photo digital camera booth for your event. Okay, great. So that's probably fine. Photo kiosk. Yeah, I could use kiosk. I would look to see in here if kiosk shows up. Kiosk does. People use kiosk. So I could use kiosk somewhat here, sure. I could, yeah, for sure. That's interesting. Okay, so now let's save this. Okay, so now I can rerun this and see if the spam score complains again. And basically you're chasing it. It had to add in all the keywords to get the semantic score. You had to add in all the keywords to get the semantic score. And you need to chase this score down. Okay, so now I could tell by what it's saying is it doesn't like this H1. So here's a pro tip. Get rid of the H1 and run this again. Quite often that can fix it. Quite often that can simmer it down. It might simmer it down. Yep, it simmered it down. So now it's like, oh yeah, the body's fine, or 30% anyway. It says the content discusses the benefits of renting a photo booth with natural engaging manner. However, the phrase photo booth appears multiple times. It does. I left it many times, which could be seen as repetitive. While the context is relevant to the topic, the phrase photo booth rental is not used, but the overall focus of photo booth could raise concerns about keyword stuffing. It's not wrong. It could. To improve the readability, a quality rater might find this page somewhat acceptable for ranking, but the repetition could hinder its chances for a top position. The content does align with likely query intent as it provides information about renting a photo booth. So my content score here is pretty good. It's pretty good, quite frankly. It's 30, which would be green. It's way less than the competitors. So I'll probably leave it alone at 30%. If I wanted to chase it more, I would just do the exact same thing I did and remove more content. And lastly, it's the H1 that it still doesn't like. So let's read why it doesn't like it. I can run this again and see if the body score is high. It could. It doesn't like this. This is too hot with this. This together with this, it says it's too hot. Yeah, it likes it even less. It's like 70%, and this is 30%. So I could go, okay, picture booth rental, the ultimate guide to renting a, I do need rental in here because this is the query intent. The ultimate guide to renting a photo picture booth is too strong. So I could kiosk booth, I could do this. I could try that. That probably would satisfy Google. That probably could work. The H1 spam score is the one that is the most picky. And it's important because that's where a lot of people do the most damage to their SEO on page. It doesn't like the slash because it's not proper grammar. So it's like, this could be okay. You might risk it. This is too high, however. This is very high. I got to talk about renting in here. Ultimate guide to renting a photo camera kiosk or booth. That could be not too bad. That could be not too bad. So we could try that. It still doesn't like it. I could also rewrite it. I could also ask CP to rewrite it. I could say the ultimate guide to photo camera kiosks or booths. Types benefits to types and benefits to DIY versus buying versus renting, and more 2025. So I could try something like this too. I just have to make sure that the system realizes I made a change. Sometimes it's slow to update it. So picture booth rental, so it does not repeat the EMQ. It does mention booths, which is really a term. While it offers comprehensive and lacks direct connection with the likely query intent of renting a picture booth specifically. The title is quite lengthy and a bit scattered, discussing several factors without focusing on the rental aspect, which could confuse users looking for rental information. The use of ultimate guide feels promotional and somewhat vague for the intent. It doesn't like the 2025 either. So this one is pretty good because before when I read it, it was saying this is too hot. This is too SEO spammy. Now it's saying it's not hot enough. It's not specific enough. This is the point where I would use my human reason and go, okay, I'm going to go with this anyway. Ted says, take out ultimate. Yeah, I could take out ultimate. It would probably would improve it. I could also do this. Ultimate guide to photo booths, types and benefits to DIY versus buying versus renting. I could try that as well. You could play with it for a while until you get a score in the green. Again, the H1 is very picky. It's a matter of taste in in regards. Getting that down to 50 is probably fine. This is specific. You want to be just specific enough, right? There's a Goldilocks zone you need to be in, and sometimes it can be hard to get. I could also try the title. I could try that as well. And you also need to check to see it says the H1 does not repeat the EMQ picture booth rental directly, but it does include a close variation with photo booth. While it's informative about the content and one would expect us to find, it does not fully address likely query intent, which is specifically about renting a photo booth. The phrase "why rent one" offers a hint towards the rental aspect, but it could be clearer in articulating. Here's another problem: is that I had a slight issue in generating this content, and the topic of the article that is comparing and thinks what the AI should be about is this. So again, I can kind of ignore this as well. So I'm done playing with it. I'm probably going to leave it at this. I'm going to use my human intelligence to be like, yeah, this is kind of what I want to go with. I want to go with Ultimate Guide to Photo Booths, the Ultimate Guide to Photo Booths, DIY versus buying versus renting, and more. In fact, I like what it was. The Ultimate Guide to Photo Camera Kiosks or Booths, Photo Kiosks or Booths, Types and Benefits to DIY, Types and Benefits to DIY versus buying versus renting, and more. I think I might keep it on this, somewhere close to this. A lot of people complain about this. They're like, Josh, why can't it be easy? Because it's not. You can't be spammy here. There is a right answer. You can't be spammy here. You can't have the EMQ or any of the variations in here. Well, you shouldn't anyway. Maybe mine is really picky to try and get a signal, statistically speaking, and to try to help people not be spammy. But it's not just throw in the picture booth rental and move on. I apologize. I'm making it as easy as I can. Sometimes you can get in the weeds, but it's the difference between these numbers here. It's the difference between super spammy on this end, which is definitely going to derank you, and not precise enough, which is going to have some ranking drops. You need to get it right here. And right here, what right here is, there's no simple rule set. There's no simple rules to tell you what this is. I mean, there is, and we have it in SEO University, and we really simplify it in SEO University. But when it comes to try to generate this content, you've got to kind of get, this is a very bad example, or it's a very good example. It's a good example of a very tough one, because I'm going for something very aggressive. And so I need to get it just right. And I want to say that there's renting involved. I definitely want to say there's photo booths involved. But if I say things too strictly, it might be too strict. But you can run this and you could see, you can go in here and you could see, okay, how many times do my competitors say picture booth rental in here? 0. But how many times do they mention the words? I think that this is still probably fine. You can see how many times they mention it here. I think it's still probably fine. Also, if you're in doubt, you can start going look at the competitors to see what they're kind of saying in terms of the H1. I'm still under their spam score. I'm still under their 74%. So I might decide to go a little bit more aggressive with it and leave it something like this and see how it goes. If this page doesn't do well, this would be the first thing to fix. because it is really, really high. All right, guys. Well, I've yammered on for about 3 hours. So thanks very much for listening. Thanks for watching. It's just a matter of reading what it says to do. You can ask CP to help you and getting this this done right. This was probably a bad example or an outlier in how long it took me. But mind you, it's probably a good example because when you're going for really, really tough keywords, you need to do really, really tough SEO. And if you're like, but Josh, isn't it just a simple rule of thumb? It's not. So I hate to be the bearer of sobering news and real news based on facts and truth, but you need to have this just precise enough. I think as long as you're under your competitors, you'll probably be fine for this particular number. And that's the way that I would do it. Ted says, thanks, Josh. Great tutorial. Scott says, thanks, Josh. You're welcome, guys. I give you a gold star. Thanks very much. All right. So as promised, there are gifts. There are gifts for everyone who stuck around, as promised. So let me give the gifts first off, and then I will. Let me give the gifts first off, and then I will. So email me at Josh Bashinsky. So what I'm doing, the first gift is for SEO University. Now, as I mentioned, SEO University is our think tank where we come up with all this information. We know the exact rules you need to follow, and I guarantee we will improve your SEO game. Again, just to do a very short bragging, you can go on our wins channel here, and you could see the wins that people have gotten pretty much every single month for years. Every year that we've been running here, people have been getting win after win after win after win. We also have special knowledge and special courses coming up. We have hours and hours of courses, and we have hundreds of pages of information. It is not your mom's SEO group. I can guarantee to you that we know stuff that you've never heard of and didn't realize were ranking factors. People who come in here and get our knowledge. I also have it here in a separate folder. I share all of our knowledge. This goes on for a very, very, very long time of all of our wins using our knowledge and SEO Copilot. We've ranked many, 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 many keywords. So we really know what we're doing. And we're science-based. We're trying to stop the rumor mill. And 12 years ago to join this group, it would have been $500. $500 was the entry fee. It used to be $500. But now you can get access to the community. You can get our level 1 community access for only $44. So that's the no-brainer. It's a no-brainer, guys. It's less than a cost of a dinner out. For $44, you can see what we're doing at the highest level. We have SEOs here. We probably have combined 70, 80 years of experience. And we make well over $1 million a year doing SEO, either for ourselves or for our clients. We manage well over $1 million of organic budget, probably closer to $2 million. So we really know what we're doing, and we can really help you out. We're a very helpful community. And you can get access to just the community portion for $44 a month. And it's a no-brainer. Like, why would you not check it out? Why would you not see what we know when I'm guaranteeing to you we know stuff that no other group does, and our courses are not our core. I guarantee to you when you join our group, you're not going to find out something from 15 years ago that everybody already knows. We know stuff that nobody else knows, and we know it at a much higher level. So that's the first gift I can give you. Email me at, as I said, joshbashinsky.com, and I'm happy to help you out with that. Just say, I saw the training and I want the no-brainer $44 a month for our first level of community access. But that gets you access to the Discord group where you can find out all the information on all these different areas of SEO, YouTube ranking, Onpage, general SEO, quality, conversion rate, getting SERP clicks, local SEO, internal links, external links, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The next gift I have is discounts. I have coupons. Email me for a coupon on SEO Copilot. If you're like, Josh, I've seen the prices, and here's the pricing again. No, that's not the pricing. Where is it? SEO Copilot. CopilotAI.com. You're like, Josh, okay, I see the value. I see your prices. Remember, you'll have virtually unlimited credits coming up soon. Just the length of time that the data is stored in the database is going to be reduced because that costs us money. So we already have very attractive prices. But if you're like, Josh, I need to have my data in the database for a long time. I want to track my rankings there. I'm looking at a bigger package like this. I have a lot of customers and I want to sort the projects out. I want to have all the projects sorted out in there. I want to have, a bunch of different customers and clients set up in here. And I want to go with a larger one, but I can't afford it. What can you do? I'll help you out. I've got discounts. I've got discounts and coupons. I'm the CEO, so I can do that. I'm allowed to give you a discount. So email me. I got tons of discounts for SEO Copilot. I will find a price that works for you. I will, at these early stages of the game, where most of our app is still in beta, quite frankly, although it runs very well. Most of our app is still in beta. At this early stage in the game, I'm trying to help you. I want to help you. I want to help. I want to help you. No, I want to help you. That's probably a dirty thing I said. I didn't mean to. I want to help you. I want to help you succeed. I want to help you succeed in SEO. I want you to have a successful career in SEO. As thousands of people have listened to me, have gotten help from me. Tens of thousands of people have listened, and thousands have gotten the help and have had a successful career. That's what I do. I want to help you win at SEO. I do not want you to be one of those people who goes away in the darkness that we never hear from again because you tried it and it failed. So I want to help you for sure. All right. So in the last few minutes here, as promised, there's the gifts. Email me and I'd be happy to help you out. Also, let me put this here. Let me put this in the chat for the, there's the chat for the thing. Reggie says, sweet. Hey, Reggie, how you doing, brother? I give you a sunglasses. We have access for that. And also, I'll put it here in the YouTubes. If there's anybody left here, there's at least one bird. Hey, it's JP. Hey, Jordan, how you doing, man? How you doing, brother? I haven't heard from you in a long time. You should definitely email me, man. We should talk. And Alex from Romania. Hello, how you doing, my friend? Make sure to like and subscribe and forward this on to people so they can watch as well. So let me answer your questions here. So there were some questions. Let me go back here and like this. Okay. So let me answer your questions here. If anyone has any other questions, both on the YouTube or in the call here, please fire them in there. Ask me anything. If I can answer it in a couple minutes, I will definitely answer. So, and here's where we're going to get some secrets I might need to cut out of the video later. So if the video suddenly cuts off, that's the reason why. So email me at joshpashinsky@gmail.com if you want to get access to all the secrets. All right. So Ted said, is backlisting common? And how do you find out if a site has been flagged for keyword stuffing or spam? I think you mean blacklisting by this is what I think you meant. And the answer is yes, there are anti-SEO algorithms. And yes, we do know about them. And yes, we have some knowledge of how to avoid them. Once you get an anti-SEO algorithm, it can be very difficult to shake it off of your site. It depends on what SEO algorithm you have that you've run afoul of. I had a very famous conversation with the head of search at Google about 10 years ago now. His name was Matt Cutts. He used to be the big guy at Google, and I had a private conversation with him where he fully admitted to me that, yeah, we're making anti-SEO algorithms. We're going to try to detect when you're tweaking your title tag and when you're tweaking your H1 and when you're tweaking this, or when you're building links. That's what the disavow file is. The disavow file was a social experiment. If they could get us all training their algos as to what bad links are. And we did. We've totally trained their AI as to what bad links are. And the disavow file is a complete horseshit and doesn't help you in any way. There is no scientific evidence that says that it does. And Google says not even to use it anymore. So, because they've already machine learned what links are bad. So if you have bad linking, 99% of the time, I wouldn't add them because you're just throwing good money after bad. And you can trigger anti-SEO algorithms, and you can be so aggressive with links and do them in wrong ways that there are demotions. So there are linking demotions. So again, email me at joshpaczynski@gmail.com to get help with those kinds of things. I could either do an audit for you, I can consult for you, you could join SEO University and I could teach you how to fix it yourself. But there are blacklists, yes, and you can trigger them in different ways. And they can be sometimes very hard to get rid of. I have a student right now who's having trouble getting rid of one, who I'm trying to help. And they need to keep the faith. They need to keep the faith and keep trying what the science says is going to work. The next question here. So thanks for the question. I think that was Ted. The next question is, about 6 months ago, you said blogs are useless on a website. If you have a service-oriented business, do you simply add more pages randomly or link with pages in the menu? I don't know what this means, add more pages randomly or linked with pages in the menu. Yes, here's another pro tip. And this one is going to be controversial. So are you ready for a controversial SEO pro tip? Blogs are entirely useless. Blogs are not how you do SEO. As I've shown you on the broadcast, Google has special algorithms just for finding blogs. There are special algorithms just to find blogs. After this Google leak, I already knew from scientifically testing Google for 12 years, but after this Google leak, I realized that, you know what the vast majority of Google's ranking factors do? They don't boost you, they demote you. Google has an embarrassment of riches problem. They have over 1 trillion spam pages that they need to filter per year. They need to detect the spam and filter the spam and not go back and crawl the spam again, wasting hundreds of millions of dollars trying to spider and index trillions of spam pages. It is a major, as Google has fully admitted publicly, it is a major expensive and a major problem for Google. So how do they do that? They have it by having special algorithms that demote the footprint of spam. And what is a spam footprint? Well, there's many things that make a spam footprint. You know what is the most spammy footprint of all? WordPress. Why? Because the vast majority of those trillions of pages, it's due to WordPress's popularity. The vast majority of those trillions of spam pages that they filter every year is on a stock WordPress installation with all the tag pages and category pages and blog roles and /blog and blog in the top menu. Just mathematically, statistically, that's what it looks like when you are a spammy blog site. So does that mean that all microblog quality spam score, they have specific extra scores, user quality score, whitelist. They have extra spam scores, many of them, and you do not want to trigger extra ones. So it's simply a matter from that perspective of mathematical certainty. You are statistically pushing yourself in the direction of a spam footprint when you have a boiler basic install of WordPress. Does that mean I say don't use WordPress? No, not at all. Use WordPress if you want, but don't use any of the common spam factors of WordPress. And but they're like, okay, well, Josh, but if I use WordPress, I have to have a blog. No, you don't. No, you don't. WordPress is a completely configurable content management system or a CMS. You do not have to build, and nor should you because of all the extra blog signals, you do not have to build on a /blog domain or a /blog subdirectory with blog in the title or blog in the title or blog roles or category or tag pages. Don't build any of that. Starve Google of signals. Here's another major pro tip. The way to win at SEO is not to add signals necessarily. It's to starve Google of signals. You need to starve Google of the bad signals and add a copious amount of the good signals. And that probably makes intuitive sense to everybody when I say that. But that's where the agreement in the SEO industry ends. They all have no end of disagreement as to what a good signal or a bad signal is. And statistically, there's no way to know because it's too varied. You need to scientifically test it. You need to have been running a reverse engineering scientific testing platform at the academic professional level. Remember, I did a master's degree and I was doing a PhD in scientifically related disciplines. You need to have been conducting a scientific professional level program for the last 12 years. And I got good news for you. I own one. I run it. I want to help you. Join it. Join it for this no-brainer introductory cost. I've reduced the price as much as I can because I know everyone is hurting with inflation and the economy. It used to be $500 to join. Now you can join and get a taste of it for $44 a month, which includes all of our knowledge base. With, again, the history of the 12 years of scientific testing. So also blogs are useless because they're done to death. They're passé. Nobody wants to read them anymore. Nobody gives two shits about your opinion. Sorry. No one cares about your opinion. None of your website users really, I mean, that's not true. Sometimes they do. But for when you're doing a service-based thing or you're doing a product-based thing, they really don't care about, what you cooked for last week for dinner. Like the blogosphere is dead, right? At the end of the day, Google wants to rank pages. Notice I didn't say, okay, do a keyword discovery, then fire up your blog and make blog posts. I didn't say that because it's not how you want to build it, right? At the end of the day, you want to build content for these pages that is helpful, and you'll find out if it's helpful if, quite frankly, my AI has detected the kind of content you should be building for it. In this particular area, for these people, they want these things. Whether that's a post or a page is completely irrelevant, and that's WordPress terminology that doesn't mean anything to Google. And how you should stop thinking about the web in general and how to build your SEO in particular immediately. Sadly, I have clients who are like, well, Josh, I didn't build my post section like this, so we can't do it. That's the wrong answer. That's like saying, Josh, I don't want to rank, so I'm gonna tie your hands behind your back. That's not the right way to do it, right? There are so many factors that you need to avoid. So you don't want to have a blog. Now, does this mean that as everyone who has a blog, they should immediately delete it because Josh said so? No, it's dangerous to just start changing stuff on your site all of a sudden. But there is a proper way to have built this to begin with to have maximized your chances, and putting blog in the top menu and having /blog was not one of them, right? I have seen hundreds of sites hurt themselves by separating out their e-commerce, their products, their services from their blog, and either one ranks or the other. Usually the blog ranks and the products don't. And they're like, why? And you probably heard of this. And they're like, why? Because you made a blog to begin with. At the end of the day, we're making pages that satisfy a query intent that we researched ahead of time to make sure that it was making the most money, fastest, easier, best. Where in the sales funnel it is, what you assume the query intent is and not actually scientifically what it is, what you assume the page type should be and not what science says it should be, is notwithstanding. Those are mistakes. And those are all the mistakes you get into when you're making a blog. And when you start looking at it from the WordPress perspective of how WordPress works, if you try to approach SEO from the WordPress perspective of how WordPress works, you are greatly increasing your chances to fail. So does that mean you need to go change everything? Maybe, but I wouldn't go changing it willy-nilly. You need to join the group. I need to teach you some things. You need to watch a few hours of courses, or you need to get me to consult for you, one or the other, which I'd be happy to do so. And does that mean you should delete everything you've done? No. But because you might already have some rankings that are getting you traffic, so you can't just delete that. But there is definitely a huge difference between success and failure if you approach SEO as an SEO or you approach SEO as a WordPress devotee and only build the way it says you should build and only use the templates it says you should use and don't know how to do the SEO and change a couple of things that are easy to change in WordPress. So you're also doing proper SEO and taking advantage of WordPress's handy dandy features. Does that make sense, guys? So there is a way to use WordPress correctly. You just need to learn how. And I'd be happy to teach it to you. All right, guys. Well, I've been talking for a long time. It's already 1:20 in the afternoon for me. I've been here for 3 hours and 20 minutes. Thanks, everybody, for listening and watching. Let's see. There's one last question here. There is. Travis asks, he says, Josh, does the software have a way that we can paste in content and have the software analyze it? Yeah, I showed that earlier. So right now you can go in the article builder and you can just paste in content and run all the stuff. You could do it that way as well. If you like some other writer other than ours and you want to paste it in and check the numbers, by all means, go ahead. Go ahead. It doesn't matter. Go ahead. You're going to be missing a lot of stuff, and it might be more work than if you just generated from our system. But I don't care. Go ahead. If you have something human written, go ahead, paste it in there. Generated by some other AI, I don't care. Go ahead, paste it in there. And you're just going to have to find that, make sure you get all these numbers that are good, and make sure you get all these numbers good too, including this one down here. Quite often when you paste in from other places, you're not going to have the spread of what you need to be making sure you have a breadth of knowledge, showing your expertise and experience. This is very important, as it become more important, the spread keywords. So that's going to be very, very important. Another thing that I showed everybody, and if you just want to do an audit, a quick audit of the system, have I got news for you coming up very soon. It's still in staging, but we're almost done. We have an on-page audit feature, as you can see here. And you can put in pages and you can get a full report on it with all the data really, really quickly, telling you exactly what's wrong, what's going on with it, what it's done, what it should do. Ooh, this page is definitely doing bad. That needs to be read. I need to tell my guy, should be read. That's good. Okay, so that's one good thing they're doing. That's bad. That's bad. That's bad. That's bad. And we couldn't read the body. We couldn't process the page for the body. But we could process this stuff. That's good enough. And you can also export it as a PDF here. As you can see, we have a handy dandy PDF that explains everything for you, which is really nicely structured here. And I don't care, white label this. Go ahead, take this, remove this, white label it, send it to your customer. I don't care. Sell these all day long. Sell this $50 a pop or $100, depending on how big your customers are. Sell this for like whatever, $40 a pop, $100 a pop, 74 a pop. And you know what it's costing you? Pennies. It's costing you pennies. This is another way I want you to succeed. And we're almost done with this. We just got to roll it out, fix a couple, dot a few I's and cross a few T's here. So we got that for you as well, Travis. So it'll be even easier you just have to click one button. You just go here to Onpage and launch a new audit. And you just give us the audit, the EMQ, and the country, and we can and the language, and launch the audit, and boom, we'll do all the work for you. And you can just download the PDF and then send to your client. Easy peasy. We got that coming up for you as well. And again, in our basic packages, you're going to have a lot of credits to use these as well. Just the length of time the reports will stay will be like 1 week here, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks kind of a deal. And then months, this will be measured in months. Whereas this one, I think you're going to have permanent. The full agency suite, I think we're going to keep your data forever. I think we'll be able to do it, even though it costs me a lot of money to do that. The database is not cheap. As you can imagine, to get you all this information, we pull thousands of pages and we have to do a lot of processing. It's really engineering. The engineering behind this is actually really, really quite remarkable. And we were able to build a lot very quickly with AI. It is really quite amazing. All right, guys, any more questions? Any other questions there, guys? I'm happy to answer any questions you got. I'm pumped. I'm ready to help. I'm ready to help you with your SEO. Now is the time to start your SEO, guys. There's never been a better time to do SEO. Look at all the money online here. There is tons of money still online. SEO is still $1 billion industry, and Google is punting people out of it left, right, and center, which is good for us because we have an AI tool that can get us this money per month or something close or similar to it and tell us where to stay and where to avoid. You can tell us this very easily, very, very quickly. So there's never been a better time to be doing SEO, guys. It's like 2005 all over again. And we are crushing it. We are killing it with our SEO. And you can too. Again, email me and I will help you out with how to do it. Let me quickly check here. Travis says, excellent, thank you. You're welcome, my friends. I give you a sunglasses and thumbs up emoji for the folks here who've been on the call. Thanks very much for joining. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Let me quickly check here to see if there's any questions. No, doesn't look like there's only one other person watching here. And no questions here on the tube views. All right, guys, awesome. All right, so thanks very much for listening. Thanks for watching. Again, email me if you have any questions. I'd be happy to help out. It's worth it's a no-brainer. It's worth a look just to see what we have. I guarantee you're going to be impressed with our offerings. We take SEO very seriously. I want to be an SEO for the next 10 years. All my students still want to be an SEO for the next 10 years or longer, quite frankly. We see no reason why we can't do that. We are all over artificial intelligence and how it's being used either for SEO or for search. So send me an email. And also, if you're like, Josh, I don't know if I want to join or anything, blah, 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 that's fine. If you just have an SEO question, email me. It's no problem, guys. Email me, ask me anything. I'll try to help you out as much as I can. All right, guys. Well, I hope you, thanks. Happy Valentine's Day. I hope you're not just spending it with me, but if that's the case, I am honored. And I hope you enjoyed the course and all the free secrets. Again, join us next week for another free on-page secrets course.